Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Babies with Knives. This evening, we are going to be playing Mythic D6 with the creator of the system, Jerry D. Grayson. I got that correct.
That's it.
Good.
That's right. We're close enough.
He's going to be GMing an awesome game for us. I am your hostess, Lala Twiddle, aka Alice Peng. With me tonight is also my co-host, Brandon Powers, over there.
I am corn powered this evening. Howdy, howdy.
Wow. There you go.
We also have our friend Nick Garber, CEO of Apogee Comics. This is the sober edition, everybody.
Sober, hopefully more appropriate.
And
Wow.
with us tonight we have a new guest, Musa. He's brand new to RPGs, TTRPGs, so we get to introduce him to it. Ruin him, yes. So
That's right.
welcome, Musa.
Make sure he's broke.
Okay. So let's get started. Jerry, why don't you take it away?
Okay. Would you like me to just tell you about what Mythic D6 is, or
Well,
why
don't you start with that Project Mythic that you were talking about?
Okay. For the one of the backgrounds for Mythic D6 is Project Mythic, and what Project Mythic is, it's kind of a mashup of Hellboy's BPRD, a little bit of the X-Files, Fringe, the comic book Night Force, a lot of weird stuff that just you put into like a gumbo, and that's what you get. You get Project. So today you guys will be playing agents of Project Mythic, which are these superhuman beings that go around and stop incursions into our reality from outside dimensions, from a place called the Otherworld. So in the game background, there are superhumans, and some of them are media stars. Some of them are, just go around doing your superhero stuff. And then there is Project Mythic. And Project Mythic is run by this thing called the Institute. And the Institute is this shadowy organization that's not affiliated with the government, but goes around the world and stops these incursions on soft spots in our reality, where these things come through. And these things that come through could be misconstrued as like werewolves or demonic entities and things like that. So that's how you guys have all been recruited and brought together. You guys are...
Like Shadows of Brimstone Superhero Edition, Alice.
Yep.
Well, see, there you go.
Quick
There you
thing.
go, without the $600 price tag.
Yep.
You guys could...
I'm just going to change our server real quick because we're having a little issue with Musa appearing. So just going to change us to Central. That should help. Okay, there. Now we can see Musa better. Okay, please continue.
Okay. So you guys, you work on your own. You guys go do your own things, but occasionally you guys are called together by the Institute to go check out something weird and take care of the problem. Usually, if they can, they'll send out agents to take care of this. But when something calls for a big gun, they call you guys in. And they'll call in, for instance, Bravo, who is the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, who is just a super awesome, like carefree type of guy. We've got, who else do we got? We've got Cardinal, who is just kind of a weird misanthrope who has a bird motif.
I punish the guilty.
That's right, exactly. We have Armature, who is probably one of the most traditional type of superhumans, who is operated on by a villain and modified, and now has arms and legs that are kind of like cybernetic nanites. And then we have Manat, who basically has luck, and she carries guns and does all sorts of gun fu stuff with her pistol. And that's pretty much the party. You know what? If I would have known, I would have brought corn as well.
Yeah, except I'm actually playing it in character because I'm eating corn because we're
Right?
corn.
Just pecking at it.
Pecking at it.
Stuff.
I want some elote right now.
That's right. But let's see. I can tell you guys about the system. It's
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's got a lot of the West End Games D6 DNA in it, and that's what it's derived from. It uses, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Legend system. It was used in Western Games, Hercules and Xena role-playing game. They used it in the DC Universe role-playing game. And did they use it for anything else? I'm not sure if they used it for anything else, but those are the two that I'm aware of. And instead of basically rolling the dice and summing them up, you just count successes. So let's say, for instance, you have 4d6 in your reflexes, and you have 3d6 in the skill. You're going to roll 7 dice, one of those being a wild die. And successes are 4, 5s, and 6s. So if you roll 7 dice and you get 3 of those dice that come up 4, 5s, and 6s, then you've got 3 successes.
So the wild
If
die
the
is
wild
not an
die-
addition? It's in place of one of them?
Yep.
Okay,
It's
cool.
it's always incorporated. You always roll a wild die. Even if, see, there you go. That's the game.
As one of
Yep.
them, but not an addition. So you don't add to the pool.
Why am I finding out about that now?
Oh,
What's
this
that?
is years old, man. This is 20 years out of date.
Yeah, it's a decent little game if you have all the supplements for it.
I only had the base box set.
Yeah, there's a book that actually fixed some of the funkiness that they had originally in the game. But what was I going to say? Now with the wild die, yes is incorporated into your dice pool. So if you're rolling 7 dice, 6 normal dice, 1 wild die. Now if you roll a 1 on the wild die, it takes away 1 of your success. If you roll a 6 on the wild die, you count that as a success and you continue to roll as long as you get 4, 5, and 6 or 6 on that die. If you roll another 4, 5, and 6, it counts as another success. But if you roll another 6, you can continue to roll as long as you roll a 6. Now, you can mitigate losing that success by basically giving that one that you rolled on the wild die to me as the GM. And it goes into something called the aggravation pool, which is something I can use along later on in the game to basically cause trouble for like the heroes.
It's like the Doom pool in Marvel Heroic.
Kind of like that.
Dice do you need to play?
You will never need any more than 10 dice ever to play the game. Even if you have like a pool that goes above 10, you only roll 10 dice.
That's weird. I just bought a whole bunch of dice because they've introduced me into this gaming world, and now I can't get out.
Yeah.
So I had to buy 10 dice, and I just poured out. You're like, hey, you need 10 dice, no more than 10. That's the exact amount that I poured.
Yep. Well, if you buy one of those little cubes, now do you? Yep, he's got 2. But you know what? You will get more dice because I have way more dice than I ever use. And it's weird because anytime I go to a convention or someplace, I end up buying more dice. And you just don't stop. Like I've got...
And Amazon selection is ridiculous. I mean, they have so much cool stuff in there.
Yep.
I bought a D20. I don't even play any games with D20.
Right.
You will.
Well, you always need a
We'll
D20.
fix that.
Yeah.
We'll fix
That's
that.
right.
I know.
And let's see. Let's go over like your guys' character sheets or
Sure.
some of like the fundamentals of your characters.
Do you want us to introduce who we're playing and such?
Well, not
Yes.
necessarily, not yet. I'll we'll let you do that in a second. I just want to go over some stuff just so that you guys can kind of understand what your characters are. Let's see. Let's take who should we? You know what? Let's take Bravo and look him over. Every character's you're basically built out of just dice pools. You have dice pools. You have your archetype, and beyond that, you have advantages, disadvantages. Your stress points, which is how much damage you can take. Hero points, that's how many pieces of meta currency that you have that can manipulate dice rolls, that can negate damage or enhance damage. Your renown, which is how famous you are. Physical damage, basic damage value, passive defense value, and your wealth rating. A lot of these things, like there's a lot of like nomenclature, but once you start playing, it's really simple. It has to be because I'm a simple person, and it needs to be simple so that I can understand it. But basically, let's look at like Bravo. Bravo has a coordination of 3D plus 1. And the way that works is, let's say, for instance, he's using, he's throwing something. He would use his range fighting of 2 dice plus his coordination of 3 dice plus 1. And so you got 5 dice plus 1. The plus 1 can basically take a success and add, or take a failure and add 1 to it. So if you rolled, 4, 5, or 6, that's a success. 1, 2s, and 3s are not successes. But if he rolled a 3, he could add that +1 to it, making that a success as well. And it's easy enough. I'll walk you through it. The average person has 2 dice and all their attributes. Bravo has 3 dice and his coordination. His one superpower is basically his prodigious amount of strength. He has 7 dice in his strength. So he can, pick up cars, toss them around, run around, punch holes in walls, stuff like that. Skills are also rated in dice. 2 dice, again, being the average. So the more dice you have, the better, which means, you'll get more successes. In the game, you only need usually 1 success to be successful. And if you roll more successes, that's your effect value, and that adds on to your effects. So let's say, for instance, you needed 1 success to hit someone, but you rolled 5 successes. That means you do 4 additional points of damage. And that's kind of it for the game. Advantages allow you guys to do re-rolls a certain number of times, so depending on what your advantage is. So, for instance, with Bravo, Wrestler of Bulls, anytime during the game, if he decides he wants to use his advantage, he can. And his advantage is basically defined by the player. But since these are pre-gens, I kind of define the characters. So Wrestler of Bull basically just means he's really strong. He's strong enough to wrestle bulls. So let's say, for instance, there's a strength feat and Bravo makes a roll and he misses the roll. He can say, well, I'm a wrestler of bulls, and he could re-roll all the failed dice that he failed on, making it a success. He can do that twice in a game because he has that advantage at 2.
Cool.
Disadvantages, they come in 3 varieties: your relationship disadvantage, an internal disadvantage, and an external disadvantage. Relationship disadvantage is someone that's outside you that that can basically affect you. It can be an adversary, it could be someone you love, but that person is a weakness for you or something that might vex you or cross you in some way. For instance, Bravo's relationship disadvantage is an enemy named Misery, the one who actually made Armature who she is today. His internal disadvantage is basically something inside you. So for him, it's hot-blooded. It could be something else. It could be that he hears voices or something like that. But his is basically, he has a little bit of a temper. And his external disadvantage is something that's outside you that affects you. It could be that for him, it's a debt to Haster, someone that he knows. It could also be that he could be destitute. That could be an external disadvantage. And basically, all of this stuff is player-driven. You make it up. You just decide that, okay, I've got a disadvantage of this, I got a disadvantage of that, and then you rate them in dice, and that basically turns into hero points. And it's all front-facing towards the player, and it's controlled by the player. So if you don't want that disadvantage to be activated, you never have to activate it. However, if you do activate it, you'll get hero points for it that you can use in the game. And if I try to activate it and you don't want me to activate it, you have to pay me hero points to keep that thing from being activated, if that makes any sense to everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. It's kind of
I missed this during the explanation. What is the ranking on them? That I've got 2 at 2 on a d6 and 1 at a 1 on.
The number of dice you get to activate in it as if you've got the 3 marker, that means you have up to 3 dice that you can activate in it when you're choosing to activate. I've got 1 at 3, 1 at 1, and 2 at 1, so I can activate those that way.
They'll always add up to 5, and you have to basically just rate them. And it's essentially, those are the hero points that you get. So for, let's say, Armature, she has 6 hero points, and she could get up to 5 in a game. Bravo has 4 hero points. He could get up to 5 in a game. Let's see what Manat has. She has 6 hero points, and she can get up to 5 in a game.
Awesome.
So
where do you see the number you can get up is just based off
your disadvantages? Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's always going to equal 5.
All right.
What's that? SP is your stress points. SP is stress points. So you get shot with a gun, you take 10 points of damage. That's 10 stress that you just take.
Stress points. Okay.
Yep. Stress points, hero points, renown, physical damage, basic damage value, passive defense. That's what someone needs to roll to hit you. So let's say with Cardinal, you need to roll at least 2 successes to hit Cardinal. Most, I think, are... Nope, except for Armature. You only need 1. She is not as nimble as the rest. However, she's got all sorts of other stuff that works for her.
She's got like a stretch punch and...
Yeah, she does, and she can make her arms do all sorts of weird stuff. She has super strength in her cybernetic limbs, and she can use it to swing around and stuff.
Awesome.
She can do all sorts of stuff.
She's like a cyber vet.
Kinda, yeah. Yep. Kinda. Does anyone have any questions or
nope.
Any comments? Anything?
Some questions might come up as we play, but there's a lot of download at the moment, so grokking.
I didn't get a chance to say hi to you earlier, my brother. Me and him, just side story, me and him were in Iraq together. 2000. Yeah, he was my interpreter.
Oh, cool. Well, today we're going to interpret Mythic D6.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so let's get going then.
I can't wait.
All right, so you guys all belong to the Institute, or you guys all work for the Institute in one way or another.
Wow, they're always watching.
They absolutely are always watching. Hold on, let me bring up my...
better to work with them than work against them. What's that, Lester? No, I'm not going to do that. That's terrible, Lester.
That's right.
And don't listen to Lester.
That's right. Okay. So, you guys are in Gravois Mills, Missouri. That's where the helicopter is taking you guys. It's around 9 p.m. at night, and you guys are basically just flying over the Midwest, going to this incredibly small town. You guys have been given a brief about this. Essentially, it's like a village. It's really, the population here is about 150. But you guys have been sent in because over the past few weeks, these towns have essentially been disappearing. What has happened is basically, someone will go to a town and there's no one in the town anymore. And it looks like there might have been some type of struggle going on in the town. But you guys can't really figure out what's been going on. So as you guys are flying over in this helicopter, you guys start seeing the lights of like fires going on. And you guys fly over basically the main street of this town, which is essentially a 4-way stop with a store on one side. There's a gas station on another, a house, and some type of a few. The highest building here is 2 stories.
Wow, has a street named Danny been disappearing too?
No, it has not disappeared, not yet, but it might later on in the adventure. But as you guys fly over the main street, you guys see that the cars, there's a group of cars that have basically made like a barricade. And from all directions, it looks like people are attacking people who are huddled in the middle, shooting shotguns, hunting rifles, and things like that.
I summoned an army of crows on that. Descend down.
You're gonna summon the army of crows?
Yes, I am. I'm going to create an environment where they can't see.
All the people? Okay.
Musa,
hold on.
Can you say something again because I didn't hear you just now?
I was saying you guys can hear me, right?
I can hear you now, yes.
Interruption.
Cool. Sorry about that, Jerry. What was that?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so yeah, as you guys are flying over, you see that there's a 2-story building that's on fire. The fire is creeping toward the gas station, which is across the street. And you guys see that it's got huge propane tanks there. There's people in the middle of this this barricade of like pickup trucks, an RV, a couple like cars. There's people clawing at it, trying to get, beyond that barricade at the people. And occasionally they do, and they'll drag one away. People are screaming as you guys just fly over in this helicopter. What are you guys going to do? And we'll start with Cardinal. Cardinal wanted to
summon an army of crows because you said we're in the middle of BFE, Missouri. Sounds like crows are a common bird here. And I'm going to summon...
They got a shake. It's phenomenal.
I'm going to summon an army of crows to descend down and create a physical obscurement to stop these people from shooting each other.
Okay.
If you can't learn manners, some birds will. And I will.
Okay, give me a presence roll, which is your presence, which is 2 dice, PRE, that's your presence,
Yep.
plus your influence.
What about my
you
beast
have
control 5 of birds?
Yep, and you'll be rolling that as well.
Okay.
So all of those dice, so you should be rolling 7, 8 dice.
Yep.
And remember, one of those is going to be your wild die.
Yep. 1, 2. I have 4 successes, but my wild die is a 1.
Okay. Now, that wild die of 1, you can give me that 1. So instead of only getting 3 successes, you get all 4. Would you like to give me that wild die?
Yeah, let's give you some doom pool. I mean,
don't do it. It's a trick. It's a trick.
I mean, aggression.
Oh, it's totally
pool. I'm
That's
aggressive.
right.
I like aggression. I'm giving you the.
Okay.
I'm giving you the 1.
Cool. Okay.
Let's make this fun.
You are summoning up crows as you guys fly over. What is Bravo doing?
I'm thinking to see if there's if they're fighting zombies, maybe drop them some ammo.
You're gonna drop them some ammo?
If they're shooting at zombies, if they're surrounded by zombies, I'll give them some ammo.
Okay, so you reach over. We'll say there's some type of like a box of ammo on the side of like the helicopter, and you're just dropping it, trying to drop it in the middle of like their little barricade. Okay, so you give me a roll with your dice. I know you've got plenty of them.
Only.
Yeah, two. Give me a roll. Roll your coordination, and let's say your athletics. We'll do your athletics. You're really not trying to hit anyone in particular. You're just trying to get it close enough to them so that they can get at it. So you're going to roll, what is that, 5 dice.
So roll 5 times, correct?
Yep, 5 dice, and you're going to need 4, 5s, and 6s.
Okay. I've got 4. 6, 8, right. So I got 3, 4, 6, 3, 6.
Hold on. What'd you get? 3, 4, 6,
3, 6.
Musa,
Okay.
I just
Sounds like 3 successes, and I don't know which one the wild die was.
And Musa, I just sent you a link to a website where you can roll some virtual dice, and you just roll the wild die separately, and then you can put a clump of it in there, you can see it come through.
Okay. Well, but you did roll enough successes, and you didn't roll any 1s. But so yeah, you dump this ammo box down, kind of tumbles, lands next to like a car. Guy looks out, runs out, tries to grab it, and runs back toward the barricade. These guys are shambling towards him. What is let's see, armature? What's armature going to do?
Okay, are we still in the helicopter?
Yep, until you guys decide to get out. The helicopter's basically just flying over and assessing the situation. And the helicopter, the helicopter guy, he's like, I'm not landing.
No,
this is it. Yeah.
Hot zone.
Hot zone. I have no idea what to do, honestly.
Right.
Question: if you guys don't mind me saying, say something.
What's that?
Can you guys hear me?
We do hear you.
Okay.
So what were you asking?
I want to suggest something to Nick.
Go for it.
Right? Cars.
You're only coming through part of the time, I think, Musa.
If we hover near we can just jump on top of a car.
Yeah.
That's
Or one of the buildings.
You guys do know I fly, since apparently we all work together. You guys know I can actually physically fly. I can probably carry one of you, but not more.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I can probably carry 2 of you. I've got a pretty good ability to carry.
Okay, so I'm a technological Mr. Fantastic. What would he do?
Kinda.
Well, with the stretching powers is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I could probably save who's ever in the middle getting whooped on.
Yeah, you could easily get down to the ground. The ground is no problem. Like, even Bravo could probably just jump out and, like, hit the ground.
So I'm going to jump out in the helicopter and intervene and try and break up this mob.
Okay. Are you jumping into the mob of them, or are you jumping, like, at a distance and then moving in? How are you doing it?
I'm feeling a little wild tonight, so I'm going to jump right into the mix, right in the middle of it.
Okay. You, like, kind of like you jump out, maybe like you project out, and your cybernetic arm reaches out, grabs like a light pole, swings you in. You, like, land in the middle of them. And when you get down there, you do realize that some of these are just cadavers. They're not just people. And it's like some of them are decomposing. Some are completely desiccated, and their skin just looks like paper. The clothes are wearing, some of them are rotten and old. Like, you see a couple butterfly collars on, like, just these undead things. And you land in the middle of them.
I'm stealing some of their shirts.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So we'll roll initiative in a second. But first, I want to see what Manat wants to do. And then once we get that situated, then we'll roll initiative, and I'll show you guys how to do that.
Okay, cool. Well, similar to Armature, I am looking at jumping out, and I sadly don't have any awesome technological stretching to help me. But where I want to jump out, there's a fire going on, and so I'm worried about that right now. That we already have 3 people paying attention to saving lives and a bunch of crows down there. So I'm going to try and make certain that we're saving the town as well for these people. So I want to jump over to where that fire was right on the building. I'm assuming that in an old town like this, it's got one of those water cisterns up on the top of the building.
Yeah, sure. There's one up there. We'll say there's one up there.
I figure the fire's probably worn away at it a bit, but I want to go ahead and fire off a couple of shots as I'm jumping down to break it, to try and get all the water to dump onto the building to help put the fire out in a lucky way.
Okay, so give me a roll. This one has a degree of difficulty of 4. We'll say to try and do this in one shot. Now, you can... it'll normally, let's say it'd have a difficulty of 2, which means you need at least 2 successes. But if you want to do it in one act, it'll be a 4, if that makes any sense to you. So roll your coordination plus your range fighting. And let's see, do you have any...
I have a pistol specialization. So is that an auto success, if I remember it correctly?
Absolutely. So you'll have at least 1 success.
And then I have Gun Fu at 1. Now that's just a reroll, right?
If Brandon, you want to do a reroll.
Brandon, before you roll, though, Jerry said he was going to cover this in going over characters, but he didn't. Each person's archetype has a special power, and it's not in our pre-gen character sheet, but you're given an archetype. You are the protector. So as the protector, you have a special power, 2 special powers, actually. And I need to find so you have one called the Aegis. The protector may shield others equal to his... Okay, so you know what yours does? Because it's not on our character sheet. So, okay.
Yeah.
But... Jerry might want to provide a resource for everybody else to have it, because I know where to find mine, which is, even though it's not on our character sheet, but Nick and Musa probably need theirs.
Well,
and I didn't
here's
know
how
Brandon
it works.
had it, so.
Right? Yes, and yours will help you in this situation there, Brandon, if you would like to use. You get to use it a number of times per game. Basically, if you are doing something to protect people, you can essentially, it's not really a force field, but it's basically you doing everything you can to protect these people, and it basically it makes it more difficult for them to be hurt, because essentially, you're throwing yourself in harm's way to do that. And you can spend an action defending others. So if you wanted to do that here, because when you land on the top of this roof, you can hear people down below screaming in this building that's on fire. and not screaming because they're on fire, but screaming like help, help, help. So you can use it or use it for later because you can only use it so many times per game. And that goes for all of your guys' archetypes. So with the Bravo, he gets a bonus to basically reflex roll as long as he does not make a plan. If he just goes into something blindly because he doesn't think, he actually gets a bonus for it. Now, the flip side, exactly. And the flip side is let's say with the Protector archetype, if you don't protect people, that actually adds to my aggravation pool. So if the Bravo decides that he is going to come up with a plan first, that adds to my aggravation pool. Not to say he can't, just that when he does, he's acting outside the archetype of the Bravo. And I think Manat is, or actually Armature is the Adventurer. The Adventurer is basically there just to help people. And these archetypes can actually, we can overlay these on like actual heroes. Like for instance, Superman would be an icon. Spider-Man would be the Adventure. The Dark Avenger, who's the Cardinal, would be like a Batman type. The Protector, like a Captain America type person.
Okay.
So the archetype is the overarching thing, and it gives everyone a special power that only they can do because of that archetype.
And Nick, I have posted yours, and Musa, I've posted yours into Discord chat so you two can see what you
see, there you go.
Yeah, I sent Nick's his over. I didn't know what Musa's was.
Yeah.
Musa is Bravos, but I sent it in.
The dog wants to get in on this action. Okay. So did you want to roll those dice?
That's what I'm getting.
Right.
Sure. So the Protector may shield others equal to his reflexes, which is 3 die. From any attack, the hero must spend an action defending others and rolls her perception plus willpower. So, what is willpower?
That is a skill.
1 die only. Every under the Protector's defense reduces the number of successes of an attack directed at them. Yep. So it doesn't seem like they're being attacked directly.
Yeah, that's why I say save it for later. Because, it's good like when someone's actually, let's say, for instance, you were down in the thick of it like Armature, in the middle of like all of these like undead, and someone's being dragged away, then you use your Protector archetype, and then that works. But roll your coordination plus your range fighting.
Right.
Need at least 4 successes.
Okay, so I have got a 4 on my wild die, then 6, 5, 6, 4, 1, and a 2. Wow. So I'm at 6 total successes, counting my specialization, and the 1 gets modded up to a 3, I believe, because I have to pick the lowest die, right?
Right.
All right. So yes.
Awesome. 6
total successes.
That's really good. So you got 2 successes over what you needed. So as you're coming down, you shoot both, you shoot your pistols off, and essentially you saw through one of the legs, the support legs of the water tower. And so it just shifts a little bit, and you hear it groan, and then it hits the top of the building and explodes open. Water's gushing everywhere. So that's the end of, we're going to say like your guys' 0 round. Basically, you guys are establishing as you guys are coming out of the air and landing in the middle of all this stuff. So now everyone rolls their perception, which is, your PER, plus intuition if you have it.
Okay.
That's a skill.
I am the Avenger.
I do.
And I might as well use this. I believe, since I am pursuing to clear this up because I believe that this is injustice being pursued here, I am going to call on Dark Justice, and I will double my dice roll here.
Okay, go for it.
Might as well. I mean, I've got a number of times per day for it, so.
Yep.
So are we just counting successes on this?
Yep. Just never sum up the dice. You don't roll it and then try and count all the pips or whatever.
So it's perception plus what?
Perception plus intuition if you have it. It's a skill.
Thank you.
Now, if you mod your wild die to a 6 with your +1 or +2, it will not explode. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I have 3 explosions, including my wild die right now.
Well, just the wild die explodes.
Okay, cool.
Boom.
I have
exactly.
an explosion. I have a second 6 on that wild die.
Okay, so what's your total?
So I have 7 successes.
Holy mackerel! Okay.
I rolled really well. I had 8 dice.
Yeah, you would probably end up going first.
I'm at 5 successes with 5 dice. It was an amazing roll.
No, I had a really awesome roll myself. I'm like, oh, look at all these 6s. Lots of 6s.
Explosions.
Those the same dice that you take to Vegas, the loaded ones?
Yeah, exactly. And what did you get there, Musa?
Dice know you when you love them.
Yep, you would roll, your perception, which is 3 dice, plus intuition, which is 2 dice. So you would roll 5 dice total.
I got...
You got what? You're cutting out part way.
You got 4 successes.
4?
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay.
Your microphone's a little weak on those earbuds, sadly.
Yeah.
I'll get another one. I'll get better mic, sorry.
Okay, no.
I don't know if his onboard mic was better.
Yeah, you might want to try
and
switch your
get?
onboard mic. Nick, armature?
I rolled 3 successes out of 5 die.
Cool. That is good. Okay. So what is Cardinal doing? Cardinal goes first with 7 successes.
So my birds have descended. At this point, I'm going to chuck that corn that I was eating down into the middle of the crowd, and I will come soaring out of the helicopter, squawking and commanding the birds to basically, as I start seeing more of the situation, I start commanding the birds to try and gain some control, battlefield control. So I'd like to know, because I have a really high perception, what I see as I'm descending down to join my birds.
Okay, so are you using your birds to get in the way of the adversary so they can't attack well, or are they just trying to blind them, or are they actually attacking and trying to do damage?
Attacking arms and, basically acting as disarmers. So attacking arms, attacking legs, trying to basically, swarm around them, distract them, make them have to flail about, that kind of thing. But I am not actively trying to injure anybody, just disarms, so pecking at the arms until it hurts enough that they drop their weapon, or, making them forced to shoo as the flapping wings are in their eyes, the birds ramming up against their backs to throw off those kinds of actions.
Okay, and then you wanted to kind of assess the situation as you're flying down?
Mm-hmm. To understand what is being shot at and who is shooting.
Okay, you see Armature in the middle of a big group of them, and it looks like it's about to go down there. Manat is on top of the local store, the corner store, which is funny enough on the corner. And the water tower just collapsed under the roof of the building, and water's gushing everywhere, like just kind of flowing, cascading over the side of the building. Bravo's still in the helicopter right now. There's people shooting. Was there any?
Well, you mentioned to Nick when he hit that he saw a bunch of zombie-like cadavers walking about.
Yes, those are the people that are attacking the people in the middle who are barricaded in.
Okay, so then the birds will definitely be active.
A George Romero movie.
So if if I can visibly see that they are cadavers and zombies, my birds will be directed to attack for damage those
eat.
To eat,
yes. Little birdies.
Eat. Okay. So eat the eyes, eat the body parts, and crows feast. Crows are very much like vultures. They will want to eat corpses. So therefore,
they're carry-on eaters.
Therefore, eat, feast.
Okay.
That's the reason crows aren't welcome on airplanes. They're carry-on eaters.
Feast, and that's what I'm broadcasting.
Okay, so you're just directing them to attack like the horde of
zombies.
Undead.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Roll 3 dice.
3 dice.
And this is basically this is your horde attacking their horde. And Mythic D6, large groups of like adversaries, you can basically bundle them together into essentially one character.
2 6s. My wild die was a 6 again.
Awesome. Roll it again.
Okay. I'm liking this this die. This is the first time I've actually used this D6. 2 that time, so failed. So I have 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. So they're picking at them. You guys see, and you guys just assume it must be cardinal. This swarm of like crows just come down and they're just pecking at them. You guys hear squawks.
Eyeballs being pulled out.
Yeah, the undead really aren't really making any noises except for like hisses and just kind of shuffling forward. And they're just being picked apart by these things. That was on 7. So on 5, we have, I think that's Manat. Yep, go for it. What are you doing? The roof is basically wet. You can still hear like screams coming from directly underneath you. There's someone on the second floor below you, and so you can still hear those screams. But the upside is that you put out the fire. Okay. So the building it's still smoldering, but it's not ablaze. So what are you doing?
So just for stat-wise, coordination would be point and shoot type stuff or picking locks, right?
Yep.
Okay,
juggling,
so then
stuff like that.
Physique, would that be like basically jumping off the roof and getting into the window below me, or would that be a reflexes roll?
You want to get into the so you want to do that. That would be athletics plus reflexes, or we could do it as a movement roll. So you could do either or. I'll let you do either or.
What's a movement roll?
It's a skill, so it's basically movement plus your reflexes.
Okay.
But let's go with that. Let's go with athletics. Let's go with athletics plus reflex.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna. If they sound like they're directly below me, I'm basically going to tuck and roll off of the roof that I've landed on and try and grab onto the ledge as I drop, which will let my legs kick in through the window below me to get to them to try and start getting people out.
Right.
All right. And do I get a difficulty before I try, or do I find that out after I try?
We'll say it's 2.
2? All right.
And you guys can do multiple actions, but they get progressively harder. You'll start losing dice to your second action, third action, and so forth. And Alice, yeah, you can go ahead and change your disadvantage.
Okay. Highs is Nick, lows is Brandon. I rolled highs. Nick, you're it.
Nick, you are her disadvantage. You just heard it here first.
Ouch.
Okay. So how many successes did you get?
I ended up with 2 successes.
That's all you needed. You run over to the side, you dive over, grab, and basically flip yourself backwards into the room. And you come tumbling in the room. The room is soaked. They're soaked. But you see like a mother and 2 children pushing up against the door, and there's stuff banging and clawing at the door. Okay. And they're incredibly distressed. They're crying. They're trying to hold this door shut. And you can see the room was actually on fire. And you tumble into the room. Anything else you want to do? Any other actions?
I'd love to take another action. Is that possible at this point, or would I have had to take 2 dice off earlier?
Yep. You would have to. No, you'll take 2 dice off of this action. So whatever this action is, will be 2 dice.
That's cool.
Awesome. And then the next action will be 4 dice, then 6 dice, then 8 dice.
And then at some point you're gonna botch and suck, so you better play your odds.
At one point you'll have no dice. Mm-hmm. You'll just you'll stall out. But at this point you'll just lose 2 dice. You come up. What would you like to do?
Is the door broken open like Jack Nicholson breaking down the door in The Shining, or is it still intact?
Sure. We'll say which would you like?
Broken open a little bit to give me a couple targets, basically, to try and buy them a moment to get away from the door.
Okay, sure. We'll say the door, like one of the insets for like the door. This is an old door, so it's an actual inset. It's not, made that way, and it's broken open, and the mother, it's clawing at her arm, so her arm's bleeding, and she's just holding this door closed. And you come up and.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot through the opening to try and get that off the mother. Now, my Glocks, they are fast, parry, and well-balanced. Would you explain those ones to me?
Fast, parry, and well-balanced. Basically, you can use these things to parry. Fast means that you can take a multi-action and take less of a penalty. And well-balanced just means it's well-balanced. And
so am I taking less of a penalty on this than I would normally?
Let's see.
Because it's fast?
I believe so. Let's see. Or it might actually just give you a bonus. Let's see. Let me flip to that page, and I'll tell you. That's not an explosive.
I don't mind having explosives. I probably wouldn't use them right now, but...
That's right. But later on, you would have gotten a bonus to your initiative if you were using first.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, my init's good enough. I don't figure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my luck. From what I see with luck 3, I have 12 total luck to use throughout this. And
you get
so
plus two dice to hit a target because it's well balanced.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So that negates your multi-action penalty right there.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick with the luck. All right. I come in, tumbling in through the window. Oh, my Lord, Alice, my dice are rolling like I'm GMing tonight.
Well, my dice were like that. I mean, the other day when I was GMing, I'm like, whoa, these dice are hot.
7.
Lots of sixes.
Right.
7,
See.
8 successes.
8 successes. Yeah, you blow one away. Yeah, you shoot at this thing and you do your base damage plus, you only needed 1 success to hit this thing. So you did plus 7 damage. So yeah, it's clawing at her arm and then you just kind of come up, maybe
blam,
when you rolled
the head
up,
explodes.
yeah, exactly. And then you just see the arm just kind of let go of hers and, you know, you just hear a thud on the other side of the door. They're still milling about because you can still see them moving. You see another one like kind of take its plate. You've just blown the mother's mind. The kids are they scream when they see you come through the window. You know, they're freaking out. Any more actions for you?
That's going to be the last action, but I am going to just tell them, come with me if you want to live.
Fair enough. And then they will. Okay, and then we have, what is it, 4 initiative? Which one was that? Was that Bravo or was that...
I believe that was Bravo.
Okay, Bravo, what are you doing? You're the last one in that helicopter.
Down. Nick. Oh.
Uh-oh. Can't hear you again.
Can't hear you again.
Yeah, his mic is...
do you have an onboard mic, Musa?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, change it to the onboard mic because... Yep. And just keep the headphones in for the speakers portion and then use the onboard mic for the microphone.
I'm jumping down to Nick's location to watch his back.
Okay, so you jump out of the helicopter. You're Bravo. You're awesome. Boom, you hit the ground, and there are some undead coming at you. What are you going to do?
And see if I'm near Nick. Near him to watch his back, so nobody attack his back.
Okay, yeah, you're there. Are you going to attack any of the undead, or are you just basically protecting Armature's back?
Protecting Armature's back.
Fantastic. Do me a favor and give me a fighting plus your reflex roll.
Flex.
Yep, your ref plus fighting.
2 dices? How many dices?
Let's see. His reflexes, I think, are pretty high. So your reflexes are 4 dice, and your fighting is blah, 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 3 dice. So 7 dice you're going to roll.
And one of them needs to be the wild die.
Yep. It's going to get crazy.
And we need to get you better headset so that you can play with this in the future.
I'm on it.
Cool.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So what we're going to do with those successes, because you're not actually attacking, protecting Armature, we're gonna basically say we're gonna add that to her passive defense value. So it's gonna be really hard to hit her because maybe like you jump down, the undead are coming, you pick up a car, push it, start pushing them back from behind and keeping them off of her back, which leads us to armature. You see Bravo like lands, grabs like a piece of like maybe a car door and just starts like blocking these undead that are coming towards you. And then armature does what?
Okay, how far can I stretch my limbs?
Far.
What?
Like 1,000,000 miles.
Okay, I'm in. Really, dogs? Middle of the game? Seriously?
That's right. Hold on, let's see. Do you want to see exactly how far you can stretch, or do you have
I'm going to, what I want to do is, Armature is going to use her basic level knowledge of zombies, which she's gathered through film.
Right, of course.
She's going to start going
15
for heads.
meters, by the way, is how far you can stretch.
Okay, so I'm going to stretch 15 meters and try and punch through these guys' heads, especially the more...
You're going to do...
You're going to group them.
So you're going to try to just...
G-R-O-O-T, group them.
I'm going to group them, yeah.
Okay, so give me a roll, and you want to roll really high. You need 1 success to hit a zombie, right? But you're going to be hitting multiple zombies, so you want to get as much damage as you can. So, roll really high. Basically, you're fighting plus...
And then what else?
Your reflexes.
And my reflex. So 6 die total.
And you get 1 free success because you have a specialization and stretch punch.
Oh, nice. So I got to put another dice in for that or no?
Nope. That's a free success. That's an auto success.
Don't forget your wild die.
1, 2, 3, 4. Which one's my wild die?
You pick one of those dice to be your wild die, because whatever pool you generated, select one specific discernible die to be your wild die, because that will adjust what happens.
Okay, so I rolled out of the 6, 4 successes. My wild die is a 2. Or do I want to pick a higher one?
No. You have to figure out your wild die before you roll. So this is always my wild die before it rolls, because it's different than all my other dice.
Yeah. Like, for instance, if I was rolling one of them, this is the wild die.
Yep.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I got a red one. I'm using black dice. This will be my wild die from here on out.
Yeah.
I have D12s that are actually D6s, and then I have a metal D6, and so the metal D6 is always my wild die, while the D12 D6s are my regulars.
That's so metal. But you got how many successes?
Matching Green Lantern rings.
Matching Green Lantern rings, do you say?
Yeah. Well,
I have all sorts of Green Lantern rings.
Do you really?
Actually, no. There you go.
Nice.
Awesome.
And
that's a Blue Lantern ring.
The Blue Lanterns,
Blue Lantern. Where the heck is my Green Lantern? I was just using it last night.
As I recall, Blue Lanterns are about hope, right? Blue were the hope.
They are absolutely about hope.
Cool.
Absolutely. Right. Okay, so how many successes did you get?
I had 4 successes.
4 successes. You only needed 1, and so you would do your BDB in damage, which is 8, and you would get 3 additional successes. So you did 11 points to essentially the horde. So it's not necessarily one undead. You're doing it to the entire group.
And Grayson, and Jerry, there is a MOOC system here in your game, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
And
so
so
there's a MOOC sheet.
Yep, there is. And basically, the zombies as a group have 50 stress points. And you've done 11 points of stress to them. So you've taken out like a fifth of the zombie with that punch.
Nice.
Which is cool. Now, also, too, guys, if you spend a hero point, that adds 4 points of damage to whatever attack you did. Or you can spend a hero point and negate 4 points of damage that you take. A hero point will add a wild die, an additional wild die to your roll, which means you'll have an additional die that will explode. Or you can do it, spend hero points to add stuff to the actual environment. So let's say, for instance, I was just being really hard on it and I didn't want there to be a water tower. We could negotiate hero points and then, there would be a water tower there, if we agreed upon a price. But, it's a water tower. Okay, so is that the only action you want to do, Armitage?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Is that the only action
Is that the only action
on your initiative?
I was pretty successful in that. Is there anything else that should be catching my eye? I can try to multitask. Woman,
no, but you do see that the people there are, they're kind of amazed because they were, like you said, they were in a Romero movie, and then all of a sudden these like superhumans show up and start punching people from a distance and smashing heads and stuff. So they're pretty amazed. If you want, you can take multiple actions if you like, or we can end that and then we'll move on to the next person's action, which is
okay. So I took some heads, and I think I want to roll another action to knock them all off their feet because I know it's going to take them forever to get back up.
Okay, so roll. You're going to need roll that same dice pool again, -2 dice.
-2, so 4 dice.
Yeah, you have a fighting of what do you got going on there? You got
3
fighting.
I got 3D for fighting.
Yep. So you would have 6 dice now. You have 4 dice.
Okay. All right. And I got my wild one here, and wow, that did not go. So I got 1 success, and my wild dice was a 1.
Would you like to give me that aggravation point?
Yes.
Okay, but here's the thing. You've also got a specialization, remember? So that adds an auto success. So you got your 2 successes.
Oh, nice.
So basically, you stretch out your hand like after you punched a series of them. The hand grabs a pole, and then you just shift to the left, and you kind of push them all down, or push a number of them down. You don't push them all down, but you push a number of them down, because with that arm, you've also got super strength. So you kind of force them down. And that was the penalty. Instead of needing 1 success like you needed before, you needed 2 successes because you're doing a knockdown, essentially. It's kind of like a trick attack. So you do that. So some of them fall down, but even down, they start attacking it. So Musa rolled 3 successes on his. Okay, so your passive defense value is a 1. However, he gave you an additional 3 successes, which means 4 successes they need to hit. Unfortunately, they are not the best of fighters, so they only have 3 dice. So they need to get really hot on this wild die. So
it's me, so it's going to be hot.
Yeah, actually, no. I take that back. Because they're a horde, they roll more dice. So.
Well, it makes sense. There's more of them than there are.
Yeah. So sorry about that. So we roll those. And I need 4 successes, and I got 5 successes. So, you take 8 points of damage, or 8 points of stress, is what you take, Armit.
Stress. Okay, so
which
I
would
go
have been
from
worse.
33 minus 8.
Yep, 33 minus 8, so you're down to, what is that, 23? Oh, no, 33
25.
minus 8. Yep, there you go, which is not bad. And by the way, the average...
Not a calculator, yes.
The average person in Mythic D6, they have 10 hit points. Or 10 stress points. So you guys are all a little bit more beefy than the average Joe. Okay, so they did that. Some are going to attack you, Bravo. Let's see. Because even though you're protecting him, some are going to actually try to attack Bravo. And that was really good. So I got 5. What do I need to hit Bravo? You need 2, so 3, so 10 points of damage on Bravo. He takes.
So I went down from 125 to 115.
You've got 52 stress points, so you just took 10 points, so you're down to 42 stress points. Does that make any sense? Hopefully I'm not
Your stress points are below your disadvantages, but above your weapons or equipment on the sheet. It's SP.
Yeah, SP. It should say 52 for you. No, really looking for my my Green Lantern ring. Can't find it. It's around here someplace. Okay.
You just don't have the will to hold on to it. Apparently.
I do not. Someone stole my ring. Or maybe the Guardians just took it back because they are a capricious lot. They're always firing people and then hiring them back. They probably got a really bad problem in their HR department because it gets ridiculous.
I've heard sexual harassment over with the Guardians is huge.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
It's like a Catholic priest scandal sometimes.
They're like little creeps. Oh man. That's not cool. Okay. So after that round between the crows and Armature's like punches and stuff, almost half of these undead are gone. The townsfolk, they kill a couple as well. And after a few rounds, basically, you guys destroy all of the undead. So after a few minutes, you guys are just standing among these bodies. There's people crying because some of these people actually realize that some of these undead are family members.
Yeah.
And, recent family members, like, one person says, they just buried, their uncle, 3 weeks ago. And, there he is, like, laying over, near a burning car. What are you guys going to do? Everyone's kind of in awe of you. One guy, he says, they just showed up. We were having such a good day today. Things were going well. We all went out to the revival, and then all of a sudden tonight, this show, the revival, a tent revival.
No, Lester, I will not do that. That does not sound like the right way to go. I'm talking to one of the birds as he's talking to me.
Where is the tent revival?
Oh, it's not here. It left. We had like a revival. We had a cookout, and things were going well. And next, we just start seeing them. And he points down, and you see he's trying to hold back tears. We saw them, and things just.
It's in the food. It's in the food.
And then Bobby, and then he starts crying. So.
Lester says it's in the food.
Yeah.
It's in the food.
I would ask, are you wounded?
You asked someone, are they wounded? There's plenty of wounded. There are quite a few wounded, yes. And by now, your guys' the helicopter landed outside of town.
Okay.
But
I'm also going to go over and start pecking with my mask beak at Armature and checking her to make sure she's not wounded.
And she's got some cuts and scrapes on her. I think it was 8 points that she had taken.
Okay, so I start grooming the wound like a bird would.
Okay. All right. Is Bravo doing anything?
I'm gonna try to one of the wounded people to help him out.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are you're helping Armature. You're helping, like, there's a guy, he's holding his arm. So, maybe you go up there and you help bandage his arm. You guys are doing the triage stuff. Is Manat doing anything?
How many people are left?
In the town? There was originally 150 people in the town. And there's probably maybe half that many here. And not everyone was in that little barricade. You see people, like, guys out of houses, out of hiding spots. From under cars, from behind buildings. People are just kind of like aggregating in now from different areas. And they all kind of say the same thing, like, once nightfall hit, these things just, came out of nowhere and started attacking people.
We should get the most heavily wounded individuals loaded onto our helicopter. That could take some of them to the hospital. I don't think that we are equipped here to handle them. Do any of you have any medical training? I say, looking at the townsfolk.
Oh, there's some. You guys see, there's Nathan Wilford. He's the doctor in the town. He's actually a veterinarian, but he's been helping people.
Good.
But
Dr. Wilford, you are promoted to dealing with people. You will tend to them in the helicopter. Go around and find the worst injured, and then we need to get them out of here.
I'm going to use my bird EXP.
I'm going to just try and basically... I'm just going to basically try and rally some of the people to getting the most heavily injured people off and to safety.
My birds are going to start when he says to go find the most injured. My birds will start looking through, and I'm going to look through their eyes to pick out the most injured. And a group of birds will start pulling the body, start helping to get them over.
Okay, so you send them out, and they're flying around looking at people. Some people are kind of annoyed by it. A bird that's flying near them and flapping, but eventually you guys sort the people out from the hurt, from the less hurt or just traumatized, and you guys load those all onto your guys' helicopter, and the helicopter takes off. Now you guys, with the helicopter, you guys staying in town.
I actually want to stay in town right now. What I'm interested in is I want them to point me at where the revival event that they were talking about was, and I'm going to send my birds out in a 360 arc, fan out, and start grid searching and tell me and I'm going to look through their eyes and see if I see anything wrong. Because I'm paranoid. I'm certain there has to be the food. Lester told me so.
Right, it's the food. Okay. So the helicopter takes off. You send out your crows. What is Bravo doing now?
I'm going to stay on the ground to give more weight capacity to the doctor. Help with the wounded and stay with Nick.
Okay, and what is Armature doing then?
Tending to the wounded, doing search and rescue.
Okay, yeah, the wounded are gone. They got them on the helicopter.
The wounded are gone, that's right, sorry. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Do I have a pistol or something, or no?
Bravo? No, Bravo does not.
You're like the Hulk, though. You're better than a pistol, right?
Yes, Bravo takes people to Fist City, is where he goes. He's
your hands, hand-to-hand melee.
You're just essentially Bravo is just really strong and kind of resilient. So like, you could use a pistol or you could just throw a car on them. The pistol is like a scalpel, a car is like a car. So
was there more people to attack, or like we defeated all the?
Yeah, they're all done. The undead are all done. You guys have defeated them.
I would move the barricade. I would make a way. I would break the barricade.
Okay, so you're kind of cleaning up the main street. You're putting cars back where they need to go. There's a couple burnt out cars, and you're moving those over to the side. What is Manat doing? The helicopter's taking off. You guys are left in this lonely little town with some of the
investigation.
What's that?
I'm going to do some investigation. I have an investigation skill.
Fantastic. Give me an investigation plus your perception roll. And what kind of investigation are you doing?
Well, we already got kind of a tip of what they think is causing this, and I'm just going to investigate further and talk to some other people outside of...
Then give me a presence plus investigation, which is, your PRE plus your investigation.
3D, and my investigation is a 2D. So it's 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I got my wild dot. I've got 2 successes, wild with 2.
Okay, so 2 successes. Okay, so you're doing that. Cardinal, give me an investigation, perception plus investigation.
Sure thing.
And what is Manat doing while this is going on?
The first thing that we need to do is make certain that those that remain will be safe. So I need to organize them and get them into a defensible structure. Since we have Bravo, who is moving around vehicles and such, he can aid in a series of barricades that they can fall back into if the horde comes back, they can be defended well. So I first want to make certain that they will be well protected while we investigate this. Asking them questions or simply looking around while I am doing this is my goal.
You guys are basically... Oh, go on.
I have a question. Before I roll, I would like to flag my paranoia on this, as I've clearly stated a cause for my paranoia of this investigation. How would that work? Because I'd like to...
You attack the chef.
Yes, you did.
I have 1 die in paranoid.
Okay, and basically this is how it works. Like with your disads, I take that and then make your life a little bit more miserable later. It doesn't necessarily happen right now. Like, yes, you are paranoid. Now you have activated your disad. So what is your disad? Your disad will give you how many dice?
1 die.
It'll give you 1. Okay, so it gives you 1 extra hero point.
Okay.
So later on in the adventure, your paranoia will get the best of you.
Right. And but right now I don't need to use that hero point, correct?
Yeah.
I can use it later.
You just got a hero. You've got an extra hero point right now.
Great. I've got... We can spend hero points to reroll, you said?
You spend hero points to add dice. Wild dice.
I'm gonna add dice. Well, I guess that was before, so I only got 2 successes.
No, you can add it after the roll.
Oh, sure.
You can spend a hero point after the roll.
Okay, and we start with 5 hero points, and then we have a max pool of 6 for certain characters, right? So I have 6 right now.
Well, they all have different because your hero points are basically a derived pool based.
Mine says HP is 6, so my hero points are 6.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to use 2 of those dice, and I now have an
those are wild dice.
Okay.
So roll those as wild dice, and if those explode, they'll continue to explode.
Okay. So I have 3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. With 3 successes. Okay, so let's see. This is what you rolled well enough.
Cool.
You got some stuff. And how many successes did Armitage get?
3. No, 2.
Okay. So you guys, you found out that some of these are some of the relatives of the people that were, buried, out in the cemetery. Some of these guys have been dead for a few years. So there's some fresh dead. There's some old dead. Some of these people are just strangers. They've never seen these people before, these dead people. But the ones that did die, they were all buried in a particular cemetery, which is, their small little cemetery, which is probably a couple miles away from the town center, which is not very much considering the town only had 150 people in it to begin with. So that's what you guys get with all your guys' investigation.
Okay. I say we go to the cemetery and see what's going on there.
Yeah, that's my crows are going to start settling down in the cemetery as this is the information I'm getting.
Oh, can you communicate? I mean, can the crows relay information to you, like what they're seeing?
Yep.
Yeah, I see through them. They talk to me. I talk to them. Notice that I keep talking to Lester.
That's right.
I just thought you were crazy. I didn't know that.
I'm crazy too. Don't worry.
One does not disprove the other, Nick.
Exactly.
That's true.
But yes, I'm literally seeing through their eyes.
Okay, cool. So
you guys go out to the
before we get there.
Right. You guys go out to the cemetery. Everyone needs to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Roll your perception dice. If you've got investigation, go ahead and add that.
Okay.
So
well, I will call Avenger on this again, which will bring me up to 10 dice, my max dice on this entire roll.
Awesome. That's a whole lot of dice.
It is. It doubles my perception and then add investigation. So, that's nice. I have 1 exploder. My wild die is exploding right now, and it exploded a second time.
Get a towel.
It did not explode a third, but
I have 2 successes.
9 successes.
Okay. Holy mackerel. Okay.
Sometimes
what
you
is your perception now? Oh, you're using a special power.
Yeah, my special power to activate it because I can use it 4 times per game.
That's a whole lot of.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I would have loved if, and we
roll.
don't have to roll it or anything, but to use my special power to basically make certain that people would be protected if they get attacked again while we were setting up defenses.
You guys set up between you and Bravo, because he's essentially strong enough to move stuff in the way. You guys find like a building, one of the buildings, like let's say the hardware store or something, and you guys fortify it. So you guys make them a fallback point that is, the windows are basically covered. You pushed trucks up against like the side of the building, just basically reinforcing it so that, there's, no one could get in unless, they want them in there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, between the two of you, you guys basically made an impregnable building to normal guys. You guys could probably get in, but people couldn't. So yeah, you guys do that. You go out there, and 9 successes. Bravo, how many successes did you get?
I apologize. How many dice would you? I mean, movement is 2.
You would be rolling Let's see. You would be rolling perception of 3 dice and investigation of 1 dice. So you'd be rolling 4 dice. Or I would allow you to roll your intuition, which would give you an extra dice, so you could roll 5 dice. So instead of like doing an investigation, you would get a feeling for something, and maybe notice something that way. So roll those dice. What did Armature get? Well, Moose is rolling that.
I had 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. And what about Manat?
Manat is 2 successes as well.
Okay. Okay.
I have successes, but my selected is 5.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. So everyone got 2 successes, and then Cardinal crushes it with 9 successes. This is what you guys see with 2 successes. You guys are looking around this graveyard, and you don't see any graves that have been opened. Like you don't see any indication that someone's crawled up out of the ground or anything weird like that. And it's a fairly modest graveyard, kind of surrounded by trees on the outside, basically where they cut back, like the forest there. They've got the cemetery. It looks like the cemetery's been here for quite a few years, going back to probably like the 40s. So you guys all notice that. And you guys notice that there's an impression, like a rectangular impression, sort of at the center of the graveyard. The impression's about 2 meters by 1 meter rectangle. So you guys all notice that. With 9 successes, Cardinal, you notice that as well, but you also notice that there's someone lurking in the wood.
Okay, so 2 meter by 1 meter, that's about the size of a coffin or sarcophagus. Can I, with 9 successes, tell, like, details about the impression?
You noticed, you know that it is heavy. Whatever was here was heavy.
Okay.
And it's rectangular and flat.
Ah, we're being watched. They're in the woods. Ah, eyes in the woods, eyes in the woods.
So what are you guys going to do?
My birds are going to start tiptoeing that way to try and get me a better look on the guys looking at us.
Some tiptoeing birds.
Uh-huh.
I would examine it, writing, because I have language.
Uh-huh.
Writing, see if I can read the writing on it, if there's any writing.
There's nothing there. It's just an imprint in the ground.
Yeah, it's just an imprint of like something heavy was put there. There's no real inscription or anything like that. It's just a heavy indentation in the ground. That's the only thing that you guys notice that might be out of place, is that something heavy sat there. But coming this way, you guys also passed the part where there was the tent revival. So you guys can see, when you guys came out to the cemetery, because it's not that far away, so a couple months, that it looked like someone, they had a cookout there. But, there's tables that are turned over, hot dogs,
that's where I
the baked
earlier.
beans, mashed potatoes, yeah, stuff like that all over the place. A couple corpses of people who were out there eating. There's one guy who's, he has like a deep fried Twinkie hanging out of his mouth, and he's laying there dead. But you guys went to the cemetery. That's right. And he might have just died from the deep fried Twinkie, maybe not from any actual undead attack. But what are you guys going to do? There's someone. Cardinal says there's someone out. You guys are being watched. anything in particular? Or you
I
guys?
would. Are we still have communication with the pilot with the helicopter?
Yeah.
Cardinal, what direction are we watched from? Try to coordinate that with the pilot.
Well, the pilot is nowhere near here. The pilot went to like a major city, probably like St. Louis or something, with these people. He is gone.
Yeah, because he's evacuating the wounded.
Yeah.
So if you can send a crow.
My crows are moving that way. Yes. You can see my crows are already moving that way, and the birds are nonchalantly as much as they can, but when forming around that area. But it is a mass of crows.
True.
It is a murder of crows specifically.
True. Well, if you point them out, you guys can actually see the figure out there. Like hey, there's someone. There's someone out there. You'll go, oh yeah, okay, I can see there's someone behind a tree out there. So yeah, you do see that. So you guys do, like, if Cardinal does point out, you guys can see there's someone lurking behind a tree. Okay. If you say that, this guy comes out. He's dressed. He's got a backpack. He's actually got a pole with a bag tied to the end of it, and he's got a hat, a jacket. He's dressed pretty much in denim, and he kind of comes out and he puts his hand up, like he sees the crows. He sees four odd-looking people. So yeah, he kind of puts up his hand.
Okay. I'm going to let Bravo or somebody else
are these your crows? I didn't mean any trouble.
They're my friends. But at this point, I'm going to let Bravo or somebody else talk to him, because they're much more diplomatic than I am.
Right.
Yep. I pull another ear of corn out of my pocket and start nibbling on it and feeding my birds with it.
Kick down. I want some corn.
Come prepared.
That's right. Yes, you got to come prepared with your own corn. You can have I think I might have a can of corn.
We have a farm about a mile away that grows it, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't one of you two other gentlemen go ahead and take talking to him?
Let's see if he have dirt on his jacket.
He doesn't have like as he's been digging or something. Like it looks like he's been working it. No, he just looks a little bit disheveled. He looks like he's been traveling. Like you look at his shoes look well worn. He doesn't look like he's been digging anything. He looks like he's been out camping. I mean, he's not filthy or anything. He's just looks like he's been out and about. So what's going on here?
What's up?
Says nothing, just passing through. He puts out his hand. He says, I'm Fred Carlson, and he puts his hand out for you guys, anyone wants to shake it.
It is good to meet you, Mr. Carlson. What have you seen here this day?
Nothing. I heard some screaming about 2 hours ago. What are you guys out here doing?
We are investigating the screams. You heard screaming, but you are still in the area 2 hours later?
Well, the screaming wasn't near me. I'm just passing through. I'm not trying to cause any trouble.
Unfortunately for many, there has been trouble made this evening.
Cardinal? He's kind of shuffling, and it looks like he's going for a gun in his jacket.
Gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! And my birds are going to try and disarm him. I mean, my birds have been, encircling him. So my birds are immediately going to start whacking at him and stopping him. And I'd just like to point out, this takes the concept of murder hobo to a whole new level.
Right. Well, hold on. Before you do that, give me a perception roll.
Sure. With anything else?
Plus your investigation.
Sure.
Minus 2 dice.
Okay, minus 2 dice. Sure thing.
Yes.
Should I use another one? Now I'm gonna hold off on my popping my ability again right now. I have 2 successes.
Okay. You realize he doesn't actually have a gun, but your paranoia kicked in.
Oh, never mind. He's just going for something.
Yeah, so you saw him like scratching. He was scratching at his chest. Okay. But you were like, he's going for a gun, and for a second you like kind of lurch forward, and then you're like, okay, he doesn't have a gun. He's just scratching his thick, hairy mass of hair on his chest, well oiled with baby oil and glistening in the moonlight.
Stop! I can only get sore.
I'm gonna call out to him. Hands where we can see them. Hands where we can see them. And my birds are going to watch him a little more closely now.
Right. He's just holding his pole with the bag on it. He's like, like I said, I don't want any trouble. You know what? I'll be getting going. I see you guys are busy doing whatnot around here. I'm just going to head off.
I'm just wondering on how much I trust what he's been saying, by the way. So if I can roll a perception and I would think intuition, maybe.
Give me a charisma plus intuition.
A charisma, so that's presence, right?
Yeah, presence. Sorry, I've been playing other games.
I am
Horde.
I am going to go ahead and let's pop 2 luck on that. So I am down by 3 luck.
Okay.
And unlike a hero point, those aren't more.
Your luck?
Yeah, they aren't more wild dice, correct?
I believe they do act as wild dice, but I'll check. Go ahead and make your roll, and I'll look for you.
It's good to know, playing with you and Aldo and a few other of our friends, that even the game designers forget aspects of their systems and have to double check stuff.
That's right. Well, there's with exception-based systems, there's so many things that
Yeah.
But yeah,
this is the rule, except 100 different exceptions. It's like I before E, except it never happens.
The same goes with comic book creators, and I can tell you that from experience because I've had people come up and talk to me about stuff of mine that I've written or drawn and ask me questions, and I'm like, I don't even remember doing that.
Trust me, it happens a lot, and especially because you're constantly creating content, so. You're constantly making sausage, so there's a lot going on. No, they did not. They are not wild dice. Okay. But how many did you get?
I got 2 successes on it.
Okay. You're talking to him, and what is that? That's one of the comics.
Is that one of mine?
That's right.
No, that's not one of mine. No, it is one of mine. It's the book that I continued.
Speaking of can't even remember.
What are you guys talking about?
The comic book that he has there?
No, okay, that's one of mine. That one I know.
Right. That's a good logo, too, by the way. I approve of that logo.
I drew that one.
This logo is Jerry D. Grayson approved.
That's right. That's right.
Nice. I'm putting it on my next Kickstarter. I already got Chuck Dixon to get me an endorsement once, and cool. He gave me the Lady Solaren. I gender bended one of my own characters.
I like it. That's a cool character. You like it?
Yeah, because we were talking about Green Lantern. That's
my private message because I'm not seeing it. So.
Right.
That's my version of the Green Lanterns and the Solarans.
Cool.
They're kind of like the Guardians of Oa and. Okay,
right.
Oh yeah, I did it for those too.
It's Marvel and its own stuff. So how many successes did you get?
I have 2 successes on that.
Okay, so with 2 successes, it seems like he's being cagey about something, but he is not. He doesn't seem malevolent. He just seems a little cagey. He's got these birds around him. Essentially, this guy came out of the woods and people have basically, you guys are on him, and I want to, get moving.
Sir, I do not know if it is safe this evening out here. I do not know. You heard screaming, and there was a cause for it. I do not wish to alarm you, but there has been an attack. Perhaps we can offer you shelter. We have a number of people that are sheltering in town together. Would you like to go and be with them? It may be safer than being on your own.
No, I do pretty good on my own. I'm not worried about anything I might find out here. I've been, living this lifestyle long enough.
Lots to worry about. They're always watching. They're always watching.
He looks over his shoulder.
He feels like he feels that airy feeling
of
of being watched when I say that, because I'm gonna have a lot of birds watching him, and your unconscious always feels when something's watching you, especially animals. So he's gonna definitely feel that creepy. He's being watched.
I don't think he needs to feel any more creepy than this already is, Alice.
Well, can I ask you one more question, if that's possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you cannot ask any more questions.
You used up all your questions. No, but go for it.
You got to roll a competency die for that.
That's right.
Driving, or are you walking?
What's that?
Are you walking or are you driving? Where are you headed?
Oh, no, I'm walking unless you guys have a car. Can you give me a ride? Just heading on up.
We got someone that can fly.
Well, I've never actually flown, but I wouldn't mind giving it a try, to tell the truth.
A couple of birds start lining up on his sleeves and start lifting him into the air.
Right. Was he like, what are you like, Mary Poppins? You're gonna be bend down some broomsticks?
A ton of birds start lining up and start picking him up and...
Right. Yeah, they don't have enough strength to lift. I mean, they're on his arm flapping.
Well, they're gonna, like, with enough of them, they're gonna lift him up like that much off the ground and then drop him, and lift him up that much and drop him.
Right.
And that's exactly what I picture, is he's gonna do this little hop that's, about this much off the ground.
Right. Yeah. After a while, he's like, I'll pass. I'm good. I'm good. And he, he kind of tips his hat and says thank you, unless you guys are gonna keep him there or keep engaging him.
I will, just before he goes, I will look at him and I will say, just stay safe.
He says thank you.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. Is sense motive is perception, right?
Yeah. You could use that. Or you could use your charisma plus investigation, depending on how you're trying to get it out of him. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, if you approach him and you're talking to him, that would be charisma plus investigation. Like, if you're trying to get some information, or you could use perception plus investigation, or you could use intuition. Like, let's say, for instance, charisma or presence plus intuition, that could give you something, because the skills can be used a lot of different ways with different attributes. Basically, what's your intent, and then, we'll give you like a skill attribute combination.
What are you not telling us? What are you hiding?
Is that just completely blunt? He goes, well, I'm glad you asked.
I'm creeping him out plenty.
Yeah, give me an influence plus presence.
Sure. Influence plus presence.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
PRE.
Yep.
Oh, see, there you go.
I am going to, at this point, use that paranoia die that I got from you earlier, and add that to this.
Well, save it. Yeah, save it until after the roll, because you might not need it.
That's true. I got 2 successes so far, but I got a 1 as well. So.
You want to give me that one on the? Is that on the wild die?
No, it is not on the wild die. It is on a normal die.
Okay, so then that one you can't give to me. But did you want to spend your hero point, or are you happy with the 2 successes?
I'll spend the disad point that I earned. I got another success.
Okay, so 3 successes. Okay, well, this is what happens. He goes, well, thanks, I got to get going. I got some friends I need to meet. And he takes off walking. But then he turns and...
And the birds stop him.
The birds are going to stop him?
Is it a wall of birds?
Yes, it's a wall of birds. A murder of crows.
Right.
I'm here for it.
On them. That's right. He stops and he says, are you guys trying to stop what's going on here?
Indeed, we are.
He says, well, if you ever see this mark, and he takes this little stick and he draws it in the ground, and it's some kind of glyph. If you see that glyph, you know that there's people who might help you. And he just draws that glyph in the ground, and he says, be careful. There's a lot of strangeness going on, but there's people watching. And he kind of
always watching.
And he takes off walking and starts whistling after he gives you guys that glyph.
Okay.
You guys basically find out that there's been a revival here in town. And basically, it's a tent revival. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like tent revivals.
Oh yeah, I spent a little time in Georgia.
Well, see, there you go. And it's basically they it's a traveling like religious congregation. They show up, invite people in. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Hobo Church, right?
Steve Swagger, holding an apple and a snake and
exactly.
Coat.
Steve Martin, Leap of Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Leap of, that's a great movie to reference if you didn't know what a tent revival was before that.
Yes. So one came through, and basically with your hyper investigation role that you did, you guys managed to put together that there was a tent revival in the other town that basically just died off. And
you mentioned in the brief at the very beginning, these towns were disappearing. So are the towns after people die, do the towns literally disappear off the map, like buildings and stuff like that? Or
basically,
just the population?
Just the population. Like if you were driving through that town, you would see no one.
Okay.
In that town. And, there's no reason for there not to be anyone there because town, you'll see, the investigations will show that, someone was cooking when everyone disappeared or something happened.
Okay. I want to then at that point. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And they've been slowly moving west. So the eastern part of Missouri is where they started, and they've been slowly moving west. So there'll be this town basically just died off. Mm-hmm. This town died off, and it's been slowly moving west.
So I would like to point out that such a large revival tent with trucks and supplies and such like that would leave quite a bit of tracks. And so, go ahead, Musa.
I would try to investigate. I would go to the morgue, the log sheet or the logbook, death of people over there. Like if there's any common clue, 10 or 20 deaths of people.
Okay.
Yeah, the morgue.
There's really no morgue here, but you can go to their small little mortuary, which is probably connected to some store or because it's a really small town, so they probably do it's a feed store plus mortuary or something weird. But the last record of death, the person, probably he got he was in a thrasher accident. He got too close to some kind of farming equipment and died or something. Or maybe someone died of some consumption. They're dying of old school diseases. They're dying of tuberculosis and stuff. But nothing out of the ordinary. And it's not even there's a lot of deaths here because again, the town is small. So, one death a year, that's going to affect everyone here. Everyone will be like, oh my God, Joe just died. So there's really not nothing weird about the last person who died here. He probably, he got, I don't know, he fell off a bike. It's that mundane.
Forgot his tetanus shot, fell off the bike, and got an infection that died.
Yeah, exactly. He got tetanus. He's got lockjaw. He died of lockjaw. Yeah. You're like, wow.
So
it's the last known case, I guess, of death by lockjaw. I don't even know if you can die from lockjaw, but Joe did.
I think that's what killed the guy in the movie Oz.
What's lockjaw?
Hugh Jackman.
Right. He died of lockjaw.
I think that's what killed him in the end.
So I am going to be using my birds to go out and find the trail of where the revival tent picked up, and I'm going to use them to track where they are and just fan out everywhere to try and basically pick up where those trucks went and see if we can find where the next revival location is going to get set up. And I am.
No, you don't even have to roll for it because it's pretty simple.
Okay, cool.
Small town, and there's a road that goes into the town, and that same road goes out the town the other end.
We follow that then. Sounds like.
Yeah. So there's the road going into town. Coming from the east, going west, and it goes out going west.
Come on, honey. And I physically pick up Armature because Armature doesn't. Oh wait, no, Armature you can fly. You can move fast, right?
I don't. Can I?
You could brachiate. Yeah, or you guys could get a car. There's
Yeah, I have thievery. I can steal.
Cars are dangerous. Cars are dangerous. And I'm going to pick.
That is true. Less people die flying with a flock of crows than in car accidents. So statistically, it's safer to fly with a cardinal than it is to be in a car.
And apparently, according to my character sheet at the moment, Armature is my relationship lover, so therefore I'm going to look out for her. So I'm going to pick her up and I'm going to start flying us that way with my birds.
There you go. So how are the other two? How's Manat and Bravo?
I look at Bravo and I'm like, the chopper is gone. All I have is my feet. I do not know it.
Because I have thievery, I guess I can hotwire a car.
Yeah, you guys can hotwire one. You guys can hotwire one, or
we're gonna boost a car. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you get like a truck. You get like a Ford F-250 or something.
Nick, did you catch what I said about your character?
We're in the Midwest. It's probably gonna be a nice lifted truck with like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, Nick, except you're not riding in the truck. You caught that, right? I picked you up and I'm flying you there because it's much safer than driving.
You're bird napped.
Yes, you're bird napped.
I am totally cool with that.
Okay,
and while Cardinal is holding you and flying away, you can hear Armature like humming, "Can you read my mind?"
And it's the bridal carry, it's like she's
Superman?
sitting this way. Yep.
Yeah,
Superman.
Exactly. Are you guys holding hands and like flying?
No. Just
how did his powers work that way? I just watched that movie and I looked at that. I'm like, I don't understand.
Well, he was flying so fast that he was essentially just dragging her. By the end of that scene, she was dead. He was flying at supersonic speeds, dragging her along. But you guys take off driving, and you guys drive through the night. Because it took you guys a couple hours to do all your little investigation and stuff. So you guys drive for a couple hours, and by then it's dawn, and you guys are driving into another town. But this town is a metropolis compared to the last town you were in Laurie, Missouri. As you guys, pass the sign that says a population of 1,000. But as you guys get into town, you guys realize that there's more than 1,000 people who live here, because you guys pass like other cars, trucks, RVs, and you see that there's an actual tent revival here in town. There's a few different tent revivals in this town, and you guys see a sign that's basically says, Laurie, Missouri, welcome the tent revival group. And you see that banner. And as you guys drive down this main street, you see another banner that says, Laurie, Missouri welcomes the annual Hobo convocation. And you guys see, on one side of Main Street, you see a fairground. And in that fairground, you see multiple tents being set up.
Oh, they're going to have some corn here.
Yes, there will be plenty of corn. There's corn, there's funnel cake. There's
fried Twinkies.
What else?
Nick.
Fried Twinkies. There's
biscuits. Right now and go to the
store. There's all sorts of deep fried foods and just all sorts of the street foods you would see, ice cream. It's almost like a fair here. And on the other side of the road, you guys see the Hobo convocation, and you guys see smaller lean-to tents and little dome tents that people have made, and you see what looks like just normal people camping out. So now, when you guys come into town, do you guys come into in your hero personas? Like,
Yes,
you know,
I'm coming in my hero persona. And Nick,
Okay.
look, the camera, look. Graham
I
crackers.
know, I am tempting. I had to stop myself because they ate like 5 of them.
They're so good, right?
What are they?
Oh, they were
Graham
they're
crackers.
graham.
So
What,
but
Trader Joe's?
they're Trader Joe's old-fashioned graham crackers, and usually I'm pretty good about stopping on crackers or cookies and such. These are seriously crazy good.
Right.
Much
Okay,
better than
I
normal graham
cannot
crackers.
have a different
And
persona.
pieces to make a crazy s'more out of them.
See?
But yes, I'm definitely coming in my hero persona, and also I'd like to point out that as we are moving with my murder of crows, more crows start joining the flock.
Right.
So
Okay. So you have some hangers on.
Yeah, and there's
He's recruiting.
and then
But
and they're all landing on trucks and such like that as we get in here and look
Okay.
around.
Okay. Now, you have like, you know, like a flock with you who are, you know, a fairly small flock. Now, however, if you wanted to call like a huge flock, you would have to like make a better roll, and then you could get like, you know, something like a flock to block out the sun. But, you know, you've got like 10, like, you've got essentially 10 active crows. You have a horde of 10 crows that are hanging out with you, and then they've got their buddies, like, you know, maybe Lester saw his friend Chuck, and he's like, Chuck, come on.
Yep.
But Chuck's not really under your thrall. He's just hanging out with Lester.
Yep.
So he's there. But yeah, so
You're
you
gonna
come
name
in.
all those birds. Watch.
Right.
Lester.
Lester.
Over there we got
Pimp,
Gabe. Over there.
Pimp,
Paul,
Gabe,
Chad.
Abe, Chad.
Exactly. And Tyson. But does Armature come in dressed like Armature, or are you dressed in like some type of civ?
No, I'm going to come in as Armature. I just put my hair up, though.
Okay. And Bravo is basically just wearing his Adidas jogging suit and some kind of sneakers. So yeah, that is his outfit.
Got that awesome fro.
That's right. That's right. He's actually based on a soccer player.
Oh yeah, I
is,
know the name escapes me, but I know which one you're talking about.
But well, no, he's from Belgium. He's a Belgian soccer. I believe he's Persian, but he plays for like either the Netherlands or I can't remember. But he was the guy that I used. I was like, make him look like this guy. And actually, he was in the World Cup. He played.
Nice.
Let's see. But yes, he is. That is who. If I were to ever do a movie based on Mythic D6, this would be the guy. But anyway, so you guys show up. Anything in particular you guys want to do?
I want to go to the gas station and get some water.
Okay, you've got water.
And then.
And then what?
I have a question. What does willpower do? Like, what does it do?
Willpower is a resistance that you use to not succumb to things or to, you know, it's basically, it's a skill. Like, let's say, for instance, someone's trying to interrogate you. I might call for, like, you know, a presence plus willpower roll not to give up the information.
Or not to eat graham crackers.
Or not to eat graham crackers, yes. It's used for like a lot of different things. So, but yeah, depending on how it's used.
Town that we run into, or no? We just.
No, you guys are in the town. Was there anything in particular you guys wanted to do, or?
I want to check out the Hobo revival thing. That looks like a blast.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You go over there and you see they've got some campfires.
Apparently I wasn't coming through. Yeah, I want to go check out the Hobo thing, not because of the revival issue, but we dealt with a Hobo not long ago who gave us a symbol, so I want to see if I can find that symbol where the Hobos are.
Right.
Yeah, because he gave us a warning.
If we find some allies that know more here, so that I'm gonna have my crows and I start looking around for that symbol that he told me about.
Okay. So that's what you, so Armature and Cardinal go over to the Hobo convocation. Where is Bravo going? You've got your water. You are ready to go. What kind of water did you get? Did you get like Aquafina?
I get the whatever the local brand is. That's like 99 cents. Spending $3.19 a bottle.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so yeah, you get your standard. Just came right out of the tap into a plastic bottle. So yeah, what is Bravo doing?
I'm gonna try to investigate and movement.
You're gonna
investigate.
Okay, what are you investigating?
So, any odd number of disappearance of people that were disappearing in that town. Just like Samuel Claymore. Natural causes of death, or like causes of death.
Okay, so you're like just going around the asking, basically, has anyone disappeared? Any weirdness going on in town? Stuff like that. Okay. What is Manat doing?
I would like to go to the graveyard and check out and see if there's been some disturbances there. We have seen that there's a heavy object. Also advise everyone to keep an eye out for a place that is, or with any of the groups of travelers.
Okay. All right. Well, Bravo, give me an investigation plus presence roll, please.
Investigation is 1 dice. What's the other one?
Presence. So it's 2 dice. PRE is your presence. So you've got 3 dice to roll. How many successes? Oh, 2? Okay. You're asking around. Now, the way you're asking around, are you being coy about it? Like you're not being just going up and like, hey, has there been any weirdness going on in town? Or are you trying to use some finesse on this? Nope, can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Be discreet about it?
Okay, so you're being discreet about it. Okay, so you're going around, you're asking. No, like you basically, everyone's here for the revival. Most people are here for the revival. Some people are actually kind of upset that there's a hobo convocation across the street. But no, people are here to basically hear what these pastors and other people have to say at these revivals. And you realize that there's more than just one tent revival. There's 5 in total. And there's people who are coming basically to see. And as you're going through the crowd, some of these tent revival, they have their people, like their street team. And they're out here basically trying to get people to, like, hey, tonight when we open the tent, you should come to our tent type thing. Trying to get people into the tent. And a couple of them, like most of them are pretty much the same, but there's 2 that stand out to you. Let's see. One of them is called, what the heck is it called?
Original Ray's Revival, and then there's Ray's Original Revival across the street.
Exactly. Exactly. There's the Wandering Apostle. I almost said opossum, but
I'm going to that one. That's the one I want to go
and
to.
The and then the Possum Wandering is the other one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wandering Possum and Possum Wandering.
Yeah, there's the Wandering Apostle, and then there is another one that the name escapes me. That's here, but yeah, we'll call it the Apostle. That's here. So those 2 stand out, and they are on either end. They're not, right next door. They're on either end, and they seem like they are trying to. They're hustling up people to come to their. So that's what Bravo finds out. You guys go over to the Hobo convocation, and yeah, you see that people are being busy. Like you see that people are getting together. They're getting reacquainted because they meet every 5 years. Like, all the hobos basically come here. And tonight they're going to be electing the new hobo king and queen for the next few years. So it's a really big deal. And,
is this actually the Jellicle Cats convention that they're going to do that? Because if the hobos are going to start singing, that's awesome.
That's right. Yes. No. It's funny enough. It's an actual thing, though. They actually do have this thing where they crown a hobo king. It's pretty neat, actually. But yeah, they're going to crown a hobo king and queen, and the
things
hobo
you learn
king.
As gamers.
Yeah, exactly. And watching weird documentaries like on PBS and stuff. But yeah, you see that the king's there, the queen's there, and they're not necessarily like together. They're just, it's kind of like a prom king and queen. But you guys see that there's people are voting on because there's a few different candidates, but the reigning king, he's there and he's talking to people, and you guys show up. Anything in particular you guys want to say, do? I mean, you guys look pretty. One's got a cape, the other one's got cybernetic limbs, so people do look at you. And they kind of give you guys some side eye because they're like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
I'm going to draw as I'm heading over there. I want to draw that symbol that we were told that would mark them as helping us, and then I'm going to basically I'm going to draw it on like a scarf that I can find or a piece of cloth, and then I'm going to wrap it around my neck like a scarf, showing the symbol as I walk into the hobo tent. And see.
Wouldn't it be better to have a formation of birds flying in that symbol?
I genuinely already thought that, and I was like, no, I need to resist sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes.
A little bit of discretion.
A little bit of discretion once in a while. Paranoid means I know how to hide. I hide behind the crows.
And what is Armature doing as you guys are walking through this crowd?
I'm going to follow Cardinal.
Okay. You guys follow Cardinal. Most people, they don't even really, they notice you guys, but no one notices that symbol on your scarf.
Okay, but you said most.
However, yes, one person comes up to you and says, "That's a very interesting scarf you have there."
Yes it is. Yes it is. You like the symbol? You like the scarf?
The scarf, not probably my style, but, I guess it goes with your outfit. Why don't you come with me? I'd like to talk to you.
Okay. They're always watching. They're always watching. Come on.
That's right. That they are, he says, and turns menacingly to the camera and then walks off. So do you guys go off with this guy?
I'm going to, and I wave my friends over with me.
Okay.
You only have one friend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Armature. Yeah. You go out to the cemetery.
Yes.
You just go out there, and you see in the middle of the cemetery, which is a couple of miles away, fairground that they're having the revival at. You see there's a truck parked there. It's a big truck, like a U-Haul type truck. Mm-hmm. And you see there's an old man with a cane. He's tall. Looks like he would have been really handsome as a young man. He's got white hair. He's holding this cane. He's dressed in like a three-piece suit. And he's directing a couple guys to basically move this. It looks like a miniature mausoleum into the cemetery, which looks really out of place here because there's no mausoleum there, because it's just a very simple graveyard.
Yeah.
But you see, they're moving out, and it's 2.5 meters tall, and it looks like it's made out of stone. But they're kind of moving it with dollies and stuff out to the center of this graveyard.
I want to get my group on on radio basically, and let them know that I think that the whatever depression was made at that other graveyard, that the people are here doing it now.
Okay, well, you guys all get that probably by cell phone or,
Or our
your
communicators.
your Apple Watch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The technology is caught up to cool guy science fiction.
Well, actually, for me, it's more like the bird. What I had a bird go with her, and so as she's talking, the bird's relaying it to me.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you've got a bird on your shoulder whispering in your ear.
Cardinal tried an
yeah.
Apple Watch once, but it didn't taste very good.
Nope, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this does not taste like apple. Kind of like Apple Jacks. It's like, why do you like it? We just do. But you guys, so yeah, that's what you see out in the cemetery. You guys are taken to a tent. Bravo, you are approached by a man and two men, one older man and a younger guy. And he kind of motions you over, Bravo. Says, excuse me, I saw that you were asking about. Is there anything that I could help you with, young man? Says the older gentleman to you.
Oh.
Oh, you're cutting out again.
That's right. We need to get you like subtitles so that when it cuts out,
better internet connection. Can you get on that, Nick? Fix his internet.
He's like an hour away from me.
I don't know if you're tech savvy and can troubleshoot it a little for him.
Did he get his goodies? But yeah, they come up to.
I muted myself. No, I can try and help him out.
Cool. Good.
But yeah, they come up and they're like, maybe we could help you. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Anything out of ordinary.
Says, well, the ministry of the wandering apostle.
So good.
They are a pretty strange lot. I suggest you go over there and watch them.
And I would ask, why are you saying that? Like, what did you notice about them that is strange?
Well, I'm a part of this community. We also do God's work, but I don't know if they're doing God's work over there. And you look like a man who might be trying to help out around here, if I'm not mistaken. And if so, I would just point you over there, because I don't think they're on the right path.
I will look into it.
Says, see that you do. And he pats you on the back. And when he does, it's that weird lingering pat that's just a little bit creepy. He's a little too familiar when he pats you on the back and kind of does that rub and then shoulder squeeze.
It's creepy in the way that uncle that only ever had one sleeping bag when you went camping.
Yes, exactly. Well, you got to keep warm. But yeah, he kind of pats you on the back and he kind of like motions toward that revival tent. Like, yeah, you need to go on over there.
I think it was Forrester doing this.
But yeah, that's what he does with you. Mm-hmm.
Get one of the crows to a tree and observe where is he going and what he's doing.
Right. Yeah. No, the crows can't even understand you. Like, you're trying to talk to the crow. The crow's just kind of looking at you like.
The crows go like this and then like this, just moving the head back and forth and telling me, "Bravo's crazy. Bravo's crazy."
That's right. Yeah. Basically, when the crows hear Bravo, they just hear the wonk, 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 wonk. Actually, they probably hear, like, what would a human sound like to a bird? Because, we would go, bah, bah. They probably just blah, 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 blah.
Just sent that to a police station. See if it's abandoned or not. If it's abandoned,
okay. Yeah, the police station is actually active. You see the police are actually directing traffic. You see that this whole town is accommodating this influx of people. and there's probably like, this town is 1,000 people. The population's 1,000 people, and there's roughly an additional 5,000 people here for, the combined tent revivals and hobo thing. So the people of the town are completely taking advantage of it. They've got food stalls set up. Some people are doing B&Bs at their houses. Like, hey, you want to stay at our house?
All the menus have new prices on them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the local restaurant.
$15 for a side of fries.
Wow, man, that's crazy. I guess we're not eating fries today. But
tourist
yeah,
prices,
you get stuff,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you get stuff like that. But yeah, the police, like everyone here, is basically geared up for these tent revivals. And you see that the cops, though, they are keeping an eye on these what they call the bait over at the Hobo convocation. But they're spending money here too, so more power to them. So that's what you get. You guys go into the tent with the Hobo, and when you guys go into that tent, you see that there's the king of the hobos is there. And you guys go into the tent, and they kind of close up the tent behind you guys. He's got a pretty big and he stands up and he greets both of you, Armitage and Cardinal. And he says, hello, I'm Gaylord Turpin. I'm the king of the hobos.
Greetings, King.
Where did you get that sigil at?
Friend, new friend. They said you'd help. Said said the troubles you would help with.
This friend wouldn't have a name, would he? And you guys remember his name? Yeah, it was Fred Carlson was the guy. Okay. So you guys remember.
Fred Carlson. There was trouble in the other town. Says oh wait, hold on. Huh? Yeah, Lester? Oh, says it's happening again right now. So if you have any information, we should go. Otherwise, my friend, what was your character's name, Brandon?
Manat.
She's already at the trouble.
He says, just slow down for a second. And you see, like, if you guys try to turn and leave, he's got, like, 2 heavies with him. He says...
my birds start building themselves up to, like, mimic the two heavies.
The 2 heavies.
Stacking on top of each other, landing on top of each other, and they look like the 2 big heavies, except in birds.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like
and then they flank me.
The little rascals of
the little rascals of birds. Yep, and they're flanking me.
One's got a mustache and they're in a trench coat, and
Yep.
But
took one of the piece of clothing somewhere and just put it on. Yep.
He says, Mr. Turpin. He says, "What do you know about Hobo?"
Nick, I'm going to let you feel that one. I've been talking.
What's that?
That was the question. What do I know about Hobo?
Yep.
He says, "What do you know about Hobo?"
Just stories that my, my family used to say and stuff I've seen on like old television. Other than that, not much. Especially.
What if I told you that we are a hermetic order of battle occultists? And that there's strangeness going on here.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look at me, for God's sake, cyber.
Yeah. He says, perhaps we're on the same side here.
Are you telling me that Hobo stands for Humanitarian Order of Benevolent Occultism?
No, it stands for Hermetic Order of Battle Occultists.
Brandon Force put you on the spot with coming up with acronyms.
That's right, but that's a good one, though. and he says, my operatives have been all over the country noticing strange events. There's been small instances of cities dying out to the east and to the west.
Yep.
And we've attracted to this location?
It's at the graveyard tonight. We need to go. Manat's there. Says the problem's already happening.
So you know about this as well?
Yes, we do. Manat's already there. No, Lester, I will not kill him.
That's right. He's it's like then perhaps
wants you murdered.
That's right. Yeah.
Gabe, no, they're not going to hit you.
That's right. What is Manat doing out at the cemetery?
What was the response that I got from the group when I radioed in on them? Since I didn't hear anything.
Oh, true. What did you guys say?
My bird that's with you, Brandon, would tap you on the head twice, and you know that is yes, like as in confirmation. 1 is no, 2 is yes from me.
What does the poop on the shoulder mean?
Poop on the shoulder means get over here now.
Yeah. Are you just like magically getting food off screen?
Yep, that's what you've been doing.
I just saw like food just come in and it's like like magic.
I rolled a 6 for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Just food's just magically showing up.
So since I was with the FBI for a while, I figured that I'm able to run a good game on people and such, try to bury them under paperwork. How many guys were you saying it was out here? There was the one old guy.
Yes, and 2 helpers.
All right. So yeah, I want to go out there and basically come up on them, flash a badge at them, and start just trying to delay them and such, and see what all they're doing. And so I come up, flash the badge. I'm like, gentlemen, I am here representing the Gravekeepers Association, and we need to know what you are doing in the graveyard. These people do not need to be disturbed. I see you moving a mausoleum. We've gotten no words on mausoleums. Do you have your paperwork for this?
The 2 guys kind of look at the older guy, and the older guy, when he looks at you, it's almost like he's shooting lasers into you. Like his stare is absolute. And you can tell, like, this guy is looking into your soul. Like, the way he looks at you, it's like he is, it's unnerving, almost. I mean, you don't cow from him or anything.
Yeah.
The way he looks at you is...
I did want to invoke Never Sit Still, because I didn't want to wait for these guys.
Okay. Fair enough. That's even better. What does that give you? How many heroes?
That is 2. So does that move me up to 3 hero points, or?
It just adds 2 hero points. I mean, however many you have left.
All right, so hero points start at 6, and I can gain 5 over the course.
Yes. So if you did, you never sit still. So now you've got 2 heroes.
All right.
So yeah. So you're a little bit fidgety, and he says, "Well, I don't think that's going to be a problem, madam. I don't know about any paperwork here. I don't know about that badge there." And these guys set this thing down because they kind of pulled it over. It seems heavy, but when they set it down, it almost seems like it becomes more massive, like it gains more mass, because when he sits it down, it kind of sinks a little bit, like it gets heavier. And it just, sits there.
Are they digging up the corpse parts of Nimue?
No, but yeah, they sit this thing down, and he says, "However, you're welcome to wait here with us, ma'am." And he says, "We're up to no good here," and he kind of motions around with his cane. And the 2 guys are like, "Is that all you're going to need from us, gentlemen? You guys can be going."
No, this needs to be removed immediately. This cannot be here, as I have told you.
Right. You see the guys, they'll stop and they kind of look at you, and they look at the guy, Mr. Cunningham, and he says, "Just run along, boys." And they kind of go, "Okay." And they, uneasily just start going back to like their moving truck. And he walks up and gets into your personal space and says, I'm not sure who you think you are, young lady, but you have no dominion here. You can wait here with us, but all will be revealed. And when you are, you don't have your guns out right now, right?
No, they're in my
So
holster.
you're probably but do you have your holsters on, or do you have those like in a bag or something?
No, I'd have my guns out, strapped to my side.
Okay, so yeah, you look like business. You're not. So yeah, you've got these guns, and he's looking at the gun strapped to your sides and stuff. And then you see he kind of narrows his eyes to you, and he says, "You're not actually a officer of the law, are you?"
As I have told you, I am Agent Edry, and I am duly appointed to intervene in these matters.
I don't believe that you are, but do what you think you need to do. And he says, but I would advise you run along. And he kind of taps you with the cane on your leg. And this guy's like really dismissive. Kind of just taps you on your leg, and he actually turns his back to you and goes back toward this mausoleum. And what are you going to do?
Is the symbol that we've seen on the mausoleum?
No. This mausoleum, if you look at it, the mausoleum actually kind of creeps you out. It looks weird, and you stare at it and look at like all the filigree and stuff, all the the filigree and like artwork that's on it, carved into it, and it actually gives you a headache. When you just kind of look at it long enough, you start getting a headache looking at it. And it starts getting darker.
Is he trying to go inside of the structure?
Nope. He's just standing next to it as it's getting darker. What are the rest of you guys doing?
We're waiting for you to let me leave and carry my friend over. Yeah. We're letting we want to go meet Manette.
Okay, so you guys want to go meet. What about Bravo? Is Bravo going out to the cemetery, or is Bravo going over to that revival tent?
I'm gonna go to check on it before I go to the
revival tent.
Do we have radios to like talk to each other, or no?
Yeah, you guys can have radios. You guys can talk.
I'll check on Manette and say, "Are you okay?" I'll see if I can get feedback from him.
And I clicking on the radio while I'm still near the guy as he dismisses me. I'm like, that's correct, Agent Bravo. We do have a situation out here. We're going to need removal. Make certain to bring the heavy lifters.
The heavy lifters.
On my way. Now Bravo's happy. He gets to go kill something.
Right. He turns around when you say that. And now, what are you talking into? Do you have a communication device? Or are you on a phone? Or are you
I'd assume we have an earbud or something like that.
Okay. He takes it from you. He doesn't reach out and grab it. He reaches out. He just kind of lifts up his cane, and it flies out your ear into his hand.
My bird. My bird at that point will alert me. Danger, danger. She lost her comms. And I will relay that on the comms. Enemy took Manat's comms. Enemy took Manat's comms. We better hurry. We don't know what's going on with her. She's in danger.
So what's that?
Like a sensor. Your earpiece, from your ear. Like a sensor, like a flashlight sensor, or on a screen saying that thinking screen, maybe.
Oh yeah, probably not, because with the Institute, you guys have a budget. It's you guys are the Institute is not a super high-tech crack like a government agency. Because like essentially, like anytime you guys have expenses, if you guys have a per diem, a lot of times when you guys are sent out and you have to keep receipts.
That's the reason we stole a car rather than renting one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because the per diem for that part of Missouri is $30 a day.
Well,
yeah,
we're flying
for the rent for the whole of you.
Well,
we're watching Rachel Ray's old show, $20 a day, and we're like, God, I wish I got that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he crushes it. He just crushes it in his hands, and he says, "You should run along now."
Well,
and
I'm flying Nick and I there.
Yep, you guys are flying there, and Bravo, I'm assuming. But because Manette can't sit still, that disadvantage is going to kick in, which means that it's going to take a while for you guys to get to her. So when you guys get there, you guys will be, helping her corpse.
Oh, ouch.
That's right. He crushes your communication, your earbud, and he tells you to run along and just kind of stares at you. And when he says it, there's menace in his voice. Because essentially, the way he says it, there's an or else behind it.
I'm curious. I'm going to go ahead and invoke that one.
Right, you're going to invoke the or else?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's...
So what are you going to do?
I look at him, and I'm like, or what? What will happen here? Are you going to continue to wipe out towns? What is your goal? Why are you doing it? There are people's lives that should continue on, and yet you seem to be against that.
He says, I do this for my own reasons and for my master's reason. I can see now that you're not just an ordinary meddler. But what I do here tonight, I do so that I will be anointed in gold and blue. And he tells you to roll initiative because he's getting ready to
roll initiative.
That's right. He tells you, like, yeah, I'm getting ready to. So you should probably roll initiative.
So it was perception, intuition.
Yep.
Okay. I am sitting on 4 successes.
Oh, that's pretty good. But he got 5.
Ha!
And what he does is he basically kind of like points his cane at you. Like he just points his cane. He like levels it at you, and this jet of flame comes out and burns you to a crisp. Or at least he's going to try to. Let's see. You have a passive defense value of 2.
I do. I have a specialization in evading ranged attacks as well.
Yes. So that will make it a 3. Now, you can do an active like evade, which means basically you would be changing like your passive defense to an active defense, which essentially is you dodge, which is an action. And it makes it your new defense value for that round is or just assume that he probably won't hit you and take your actions as normal. But
does
right
it
now
add
you have
on to the passive defense, or is it replacing the passive defense?
It will replace it.
Okay, so my odds are not going to improve that much. So I think that I'll stick with the passive defense of 3 against the ranged attack.
Okay. And basically, that's only when you have guns in your hands, right? Or no, that's your force field.
And I believe
that's the force field.
Okay. And so your parry is not going to improve you, Brandon? You said?
My parry?
No.
So he mentioned that one of the 3 abilities of your gun thing, like balanced or steady or something, meant that you could parry attacks.
Yes, you could parry attacks. So basically, let's say if someone came at Manat with like a knife, right? She could take her gun and block with it.
Okay, you can't. So she can't use it against the fire.
She could, but it's a flamethrower. Like it's hard. It'd be like if you had a sword and you're trying to parry a gout of flame. It's not going to work as effectively. However, the special effect of her shooting her gun is, using her force field, is essentially like, you're basically shooting the attack out of the air. That would work, which is one of her powers. He shoots at you, but I rolled miserably, and his flame shoots out and goes astray.
Okay.
It looks like it just, like this, you see this like ripple travel down his arm beyond the cane and at you, but you managed to like get out of the way because he telegraphed it. He did that, and with his other hand, you see he like reaches over, and you get like this weird feeling in your stomach as you hear this low moans coming from the mausoleum. What are you doing?
I am going to go ahead and pull the guns at that point. So force field is turning on, basically. And I am going to, let's see about disarming him.
Okay.
Let's get, since the cane seems to be a big focus for him, let's see if we can get that out of his hands.
Or is it?
That's a good question. So, coordination, ranged fighting. So I'm up at 7 dice. Let's go ahead and burn some of those hero points that I've been collecting.
Well, don't forget, it's well balanced. So that gives you 2 additional dice. So you're
awesome.
at 9 dice.
Well, Brandon, don't forget, because I went and reread the rules. Your hero points are separate pool than your disad activated points. And you don't need to blow those points until after you've rolled. So roll it to see if you like your roll, then add to those dice. And it is a separate pool from your hero points. It just works the same way as hero points when you activate.
Yes. So, you've got 9 dice right now. Actually, plus you get 1 automatic success because you've got a specialization with your pistol. So, roll 9 dice, one of those being the wild die.
My wild die is the 6. I got 4, 4, 5, 4. So I'm up to 5 successes, 6 with my auto success. Let's go ahead and explode. Explosion doesn't do anything. So I'm at 6 successes. Let's go ahead and toss the hero point.
Well, you only needed 2 to... actually, you needed 3.
Yeah, but he wants extra damage.
Right. Now, is this directed at... Were you trying to disarm him, or are you actually shooting him?
I am trying to disarm him, so I'm assuming that's a somewhat difficult action.
No, it's 3. You needed 3 successes to do that. So you've definitely taken it out of his hand. So you really don't need to do it. I mean, you can, just to make it look more awesome. Or,
more like get it further away from him into, farther position from him.
Right. Well, you've already got 3 extra successes on top of what you needed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can. I'm just saying, you've done, your shot was really, really, really good. You shoot it out of his hand. It goes flying, away. You shot it out of his hand. Any other action?
I am going to want to move to a position where I have a little bit of cover maybe from him, and also definitely keeping an eye on those guys that have retreated to the truck. I don't know if they're going to be coming back in.
No, those guys drove off. Those guys, they got in the truck and left. And for cover, the really only cover out here would be the mausoleum and maybe some small tombstones. And even the tombstones here, because it's a really small town, they're really modest. So most of them, there's not a lot of big cover out here, except for the mausoleum.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take another shot at him since he fired at me.
What? Come on.
So, 8 dice, well balanced, 9 dice, knock 2 off for an extra action.
Yep.
And so you could do an evade before your action, and then just your normal actions would be at -2 dice normally.
Yep.
Alright. That's a 3 on that. Alright. I am sitting at 2 successes on that. I'll burn one of those hero points. They're not going to do me any good just sitting there.
Okay, so now roll an extra wild die.
5. So 3 successes, 4 with specialization.
Okay, 4 successes. You needed 2 to hit him, so you got 2 over. So how much damage does your gun do? Your
7.
guns
So
do
that's 9, right?
9 points of damage that you've done to him. He says, "Owie." So yeah, you shoot into him, and he kind of moves pretty quick. So like you shoot him, and you thought you hit him, but it goes through like his like jacket. And the special effect of that is him spending hero points to negate damage. Is what he's doing. So he spent 2 hero points, and a hero point will negate 4 points of damage or add 4 points of damage to your shot. So if you wanted to, instead of spending it, to add an extra die to your roll, you could spend it to actually, take the 2 successes and then just add an additional points on top of it. So there's all these different options you can do with it. But he's going to use 2 hero points to basically negate your damage. He basically moves out of the way. You shoot through his jacket. You guys will be coming in the next round. All of you are coming from different directions, but you guys will get there all next round. But this round, there's a pulse that shoots out from this mausoleum.
And boss fight time.
That's right. You guys see or actually you guys don't see it, but Manat sees it. Where there are graves, you'll see these rectangular glows, the ground will glow right there. So it shoots out this pulse of eldritch energy shoots out these the graves, you see this green glow where these graves would be, and then you see an undead lumber out of the mausoleum, and you see 2 of them kind of lumber out, and boom again, and it starts to pulse. So this thing is periodically just pulsing out this energy, and you see so right now there's 2 undead who lumbered out and are kind of looking at you, and you see he's kind of just pointing at you so on his action at the beginning of the round, he is going to grab you up using his telekinesis.
Real quick question.
Yes,
my guns, you were saying, give me an initiative bonus. Now that I have my guns, do I get to roll to try and get additional successes on initiative?
Sure, we'll let you do it.
So
in fact, we will let you do it. Add those 2 dice, and then we'll add those now. Okay,
so that's 2 dice. Neither of them's wild, but that's 1 more success. So I'm going at the same time as he does.
Yes. You guys are going Samo. So what would you like to do as he's direct undead at you, and he's also getting ready to pull you towards him?
I am going to just continue to unload into him.
Okay.
So.
Can I say something, or?
Sure. What would you like to say from a distance?
A cart, or no, a hot dog. What's it called?
What's that?
Truck.
Oh, we're getting pieces of you again. We're missing your soliloquy.
One moment.
But go ahead and make your attack roll, and
all right.
We'll
Okay, 5, 5, 4, 5.
He's calling hot dog truck.
He's calling.
He's calling a hot dog truck.
Okay. And then what are you going to do with the hot dog truck?
I think he's driving the hot dog truck in to provide cover with the horns and everything. Yep. Okay, I was right. I actually guessed right before it even came through.
Fantastic.
He's driving in.
So, yes, you're driving a hot dog truck. I love it. Okay, so there's a hot dog truck driving to the cemetery. As you're driving in, you see
have awesome horns
Cardinal.
on it.
Yes, it's the Oscar Mayer truck. It's the hot dog. It is literally the Oscar Mayer hot dog truck. So what did you get, Manette?
I got a 3 5s, a 4, and 5 2s. My coordination modifies one of those 2s up to a 4. So that's 5 successes plus my automatic success for a 6.
You only needed 2 successes to hit them, so you got over what you needed, doing 11 points of damage?
Yes.
Okay,
let's go
what
ahead
did your wild
and start.
die roll?
It was a 5.
Okay, so you're good.
Let's go ahead and bump that up by 2 hero points.
Okay, so you're going to add an additional 8 points of damage on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now instead of 11 points, you are doing, what you had, 19 points. That's a lot. Hold on. So, 1, 2. Okay. So, yeah, you see, like, an undead walks in front of him and gets perforated with bullets as you're shooting. And you see he's kind of moving behind these, like, cadavers as they're, like, lumbering towards you. And, yeah, they're just being shot up in front of them. Taking another action?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go again as I continue the hail of bullets. And Gunfu allows me a single reroll. Now, is that all the dice, the dice that failed, or what?
No, just the dice that failed. So let's say, for instance, you rolled your 9 die and 3 of them failed. You could re-roll those dice if you like.
Gotcha. All right, so I am sitting at 4 successes, 5 with my automatic success.
Woohoo!
Okay. So that is you did how many successes?
5 successes total. So that is 3 up.
Three
so
over.
I think that's a damage of 10.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh! I wish that his audio was doing better. Please tell me everyone just read that.
Exactly.
Buns
Yes,
are flying out of the air, out of the windows.
That's right.
Let you cover.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop there, so that way I can try and evade maybe on some of these zombies.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, here are the zombies. Zombies are going to attack you. Your passive defense is 2.
So
you got hit by one of them. One of the zombies, he clawed at you.
All right.
So you've taken 7 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh no.
From the zombie. Let's see. The other one hit you for another 7 points. So 14 points total. So you can negate that with hero points if you like, or just take it. Or conversely, your force field could negate some of that.
Yeah. So how does the force field work?
Roll 4 dice. Make sure one's the wild die.
The reason it's 4 dice is because that's what level my force field is 4.
Yep,
and I have 3 successes. The wild die is a 5.
Okay, so 3 successes. You negate 3 points per success. So you negate 9 points of damage. So out of that 14 points, you negate... no, actually, the first one you negated totally. The first one you negated totally. Now you would have to roll again, lose a die. So you'd have 3 dice from your force field, because your force field is ablative. It starts to go down.
Gotcha.
So the second attack...
And is there any reason not to use force field when you've got it?
No, you would use your force field. However, you can only use your force field until your guns run out of ammo. That's why I'm asking about what you got on the wild die. Because as you shoot your gun, it becomes... The way ammo works is basically it's your wild die. And once you hit a certain number, you're out of bullets.
All right, my wild die is a 5.
Okay.
And I have 3 successes as well.
Okay, so you negate all that damage. Basically, they're coming up and you're just shooting the gun and you're knocking their hands back. It's hitting them maybe in their arms, or maybe you're deflecting. You're shooting these guns and it's stopping them from actually attacking.
Blowing their joints out of position, so they're not really pushing forward at me.
Did you catch Lisa's question?
Can I give him? Not yet, but they can hear the horn of this hot dog coming, and you hear the horn as the hot dog truck is coming, because you guys will get here this round. Awesome. So what I'm going to need is everyone now to roll initiative for me again.
Sure.
And this round, 4 undead walk from the mausoleum.
So we're up to 6 undead out.
Yes.
Okay.
So everyone give me an initiative roll.
I'm going to use my last double perception, because I want to be going quickly here.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay, the initiative, how many dice is there? Because I don't
yeah, let's see. Your initiative, yep, it's your perception plus your intuition. So it would be 5 dice for you, Bravo. that you would roll.
So am I re-rolling initiative?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I only have 2 successes on this one.
I have.
And that's even with your +2 for your fast weapon?
Yeah, that's with 7 dice.
Oh, man, that was terrible.
I
Okay,
have 5 successes.
5. Armature?
I didn't roll yet because I suck.
That's right. Now you're just going over all your actions. How about Bravo? What did Bravo get?
Successes.
How many?
4 successes.
4 successes.
4 successes? How'd you hear that and I didn't hear it?
I worked at 911 for a little while.
Right.
Oh, wow. 1 success in my wild 4.
Okay, so you got 1 success? That's not bad.
Yep.
Okay, so what is Cardinal doing? Cardinal's flying in, I'm assuming holding arm, and then what?
Yep. So I'm going to drop off armature and is there any sort of team attack in this game?
Yeah, you guys want to try to do some type of coordinated attack, which will be more effective against a single target?
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing like that in the game.
Okay, nothing like that in the game. Got it.
No, there's there's something. Hold on. I'm getting ready to find the rule for you. Because there is, in fact, something you could do. And did I put it in? Blah, blah,
See,
blah.
Alice, if our zombie situation hadn't gone so quick, and if I hadn't had people to save underneath me, I was going to try that from the rooftop for you guys.
Okay. So what you want to do is a coordinated attack.
Okay.
Single target, blah, blah, blah. The team can have to do extra damage, get a better position to attack, or both. The more complex the maneuver, the more difficult the influence. Basically, how much damage you're going to make an influence roll, because basically what Cardinal is doing is like, you attack from this side, you attack from this side. And so you're going to take an action and do an influence roll.
Okay. So what I would like to do, so do I ever use my power dice? Because the dice for my powers, I've never, I've got 5 in a bunch of different powers, but I've never rolled that for any of my skill tests. Am I able to call on it at all?
Your powers are kind of passive except for your beast control.
Right, my beast control of 5, which is what I'm trying to do right now. I have an idea. But...
Okay. So you're trying to do this with the birds, not the actual group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sort of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to use the birds to section off the battlefield to basically create barriers against attacks coming in, and therefore allowing people to pincer attack. There we go. I'm creating I'm creating terrain advantage using the birds and creating the ability for our team to pincer in.
Okay. What kind of bonus would you like? You could, for every +1 bonus, it's going to add +1 difficulty. So basically, what you're going to be doing is giving them a bonus to hit.
Everyone
you know what I mean?
Will get a +1 to hit.
Yeah,
okay.
Per difficulty. So let's say, for instance, you took a +3 to your difficulty. They would get a +3 die bonus to actually make that maneuver. So essentially, you would be.
So I would like to, at this point, cite I always wear red as my disadvantage and activate that pool for later as well, because I am directing traffic, and red light, green light sounds like a pretty good option.
That's right, and it also makes a better target.
Yep, and since this is final fight, I am.
That's why Robin wears what he does, right?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to wear all black. You wear yellow and green and red.
And I want you in the Speedos.
And I've been playing to it all game, but I'm going to at this point activate the pool of my lover armature, and so I am really concerned about her being endangered in this situation because this is looking really scary and bad. So therefore, I have all 5 dice from that for later, and I am I want to try and give everyone a +2.
Okay.
So that would be beast control plus influence, right?
Give me beast control plus your presence plus your influence.
Oh, plus me.
And
okay.
So it's going to be influence, beast control, and presence.
Okay.
And give me. You're going to have a difficulty of 4. So you need 4 successes at least.
Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Okay, that's a lot of successes. So
I
tell
do
you what,
have 3 ones that are not wild.
Okay, that's no big deal.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we're going to translate those other 2 successes into an additional +1. So you were going for a +3 bonus. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give you a +4 because you rolled so well.
Great. So everyone's going to get a +4 bonus as I come in and strategically start lining the field up to make the attacks more efficient. Okay.
So you do that, and then the people who go on 4. So that's going to be Bravo.
And part of it is, I'm blocking line of sight for the zombies, so the zombies think that, are trying to move this way, and I'm basically funneling them into my party's attacks.
Right.
Cool.
You're funneling them right to where Bravo can run them all over with his hot dog truck?
Exactly.
That's right, with his hot
Perfect.
Dog truck.
+4 to hit with that taco truck, or hot dog
That's
truck.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Okay. Damn it,
Yay.
I can give cover. Okay, so you're going to give trouble with the hot dog truck. So basically, you're playing it defensive. You're trying to, so you come in the middle with this hot dog truck, horn blazing, and you pull the truck in between this old man, this poor elderly old man, and these villainous heroes that have come in and just attacked this guy and his undead minion. But you guys are doing that, and so that's what you do. Is there anything else you'd like to do, or are you good with using the truck as cover, giving them cover with this truck?
You can run them over right now. I'm giving you +4 to hit them.
Run them over.
He's going to run them over.
Okay. Give me a piloting roll plus coordination. Let me see. Do you got piloting? No piloting. Okay, give me a coordination roll. So then you got.
That'll be 4.
You got 4 successes? Actually, sorry. You've got 7 dice +1 because she gives you 4 dice for doing her maneuver. So you would have 7 dice to roll.
4 dice. I'm funneling. The birds are pushing them right into the way of your truck running them over.
So give me a roll and tell me how many successes you get on 7 dice.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. So you run over some undead. So let me see. Hold on. Let me.
As a point of question, what is the damage value of a hot dog truck?
Exactly.
Of a hot dog truck, all of it.
Are the hot dogs falling out of the back?
Yeah.
We've got bombs falling out the window.
Everything's flying everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Just it's a hot dog truck, so it's we're gonna say a hot dog truck.
Out of the window.
We're gonna give you.
There's knives coming out of the driver's seat or the driver window.
Right. So there's knives. Listen, there's a hot dog truck. They don't get knives. You don't need a knife to cut a hot dog. But there's probably a whole bunch of Pepsid AC. Probably all sorts of all sorts of. Exactly. Let's see.
You know that the undead, Pepsid AC makes them explode like Alka-Seltzer and Seagull.
Can we have some Pepsid? Can we have some Pepto-Bismol covered zombies so they're all dressed in pink now?
Right. Yes, they do. They have like kind of a smell to them. We're gonna say you crush 2 of those. They just die. You just smash through 2. And 2 of them just go splat on this hot dog truck. But you can't really tell because there's hot dog splashed on this too. So it's pretty much the same thing. Dead person or hot dog meat. So you smash those. And you've taken out 2 of the, let me see. So 2 came out, 4. So there were 6. So there's 4 of them left. He is going to blast you. So the old man is going to blast you, Cardinal.
Okay.
because you are big, red, and he's gonna.
And annoying because I just basically chopped up his battlefield.
That's right. So he needs 2
I
successes.
am going to go ahead and use my protector.
Awesome! We're getting lots of systems.
How that goes.
We're getting to see lots of different system aspects.
That's right. So, go ahead and give me a roll for your protector. And
Sure.
this roll, I pretty much crushed it, and Cardinal's getting ready to get it.
Perception plus willpower, so that's 6 die plus 1. So I am sitting on 3 successes on that.
Okay, so you take away 3 of my success.
Yep.
Which is good, but not good enough. So you take away 3 of them, because I got 7 successes on that roll, which was awesome. So now I'm down to 4 successes.
Okay.
So he did 15.
And how do I defend against this?
He did 27 points of damage.
Quick question.
Yeah.
To see if I'm reading this right. I reduced the number of successes directed at them by 1 plus the effect value of the roll. So that'd be by 4 successes, correct? I'd take off.
Yes. So you would do a base of 1 plus, What did you get?
I got 3 successes, so that'd be 4 total. So basically, you've got it written that you're always going to get something by being the
you always
protector.
get something. Yeah, so he's down to 3 successes. He only needed 2 to hit Cardinal. So he did 27 points of damage.
Okay. How do I defend against this?
Well, one way is just to take the damage and, you just kind of burn up and die.
No, thank you. I don't think I want to do
thank
that.
you?
No, thank you.
Fair enough.
It's a very kind and generous offer.
For her?
What's that?
Some damage? Can I just jump in front of her to take some of the damage?
Actually, you know what? We'll take off some of the damage for the truck. Because, you were trying to put the truck in the way.
Okay.
So we'll take off 10 points of damage for the truck.
Okay.
The truck is now on fire.
Barbecue hot dogs.
Fire truck.
Barbecue hot dogs.
Exactly. So you've taken, hold on, it's 27 minus 10, so you've taken 7.
Okay.
You can spend hero points. Hero points will negate 4 points of damage per hero point spent.
Okay. Or can I roll any sort of defense against that to soak it?
Not to soak it, no. Essentially, soaking it would be spending the hero point. You could have spent an action to dodge, which would have raised, the difficulty to hit him. So if you want to do that, I'll allow you to do that one if you'd like.
I would have dodged. How do I dodge?
Okay. Roll your evasion plus your reflex.
And you knock 2 off of your die pool, I think, because it's your second action.
Yes, knock 2 off of your die.
Okay, evasion plus my dodge. I don't have...
evasion plus reflexes.
Okay, plus reflexes. Oh, cool. I'm actually pretty good at this.
Minus 2 dice.
Yeah, minus 2 dice. I still have 4 dice. And I still have other dice I can add to this. So, oh, wow. 3 6s. And I'm going to give your doom pool a 1. Your aggression pool a 1.
Yep, my aggravation pool.
Yep.
Boom.
But I do have 3 6s, which would soak all 3, right?
That would take away, because I would need way more to hit you. And since the protector took off 4 of my successes, I only had 3 successes left.
Cool.
You've completely negated it.
Awesome.
So the truck takes probably most of the damage.
Or you're going to use your aggression pool that I gave you?
Well, the aggravation pool is going to come into effect in the sense that now someone's in peril. What are you doing, Armature?
I'm getting ready to start wrecking shop on the undead.
Oh, no, come on. They haven't done anything yet.
They started biting? We don't know. I've watched way too many zombie movies. Little side thing about Armature. She's really into zombie movies.
Well, Jerry's trying to sell this whole zombies are lovable, cuddly teddy bears angle for us right now.
They are just living challenged, okay?
Living challenge.
And I really don't appreciate you guys pigeonholing these undead. And, they've got feelings too.
Yeah, they're about to feel something.
Okay, so you're gonna, are you trying to take out all the undead, or just,
I'm gonna do the best I can. I want to try this extra limb I don't know what that does, but it sounds cool.
Time to try
Basically, your arm would just split. You know what I mean? Like you could like basically punch someone, and then a piece of it would come off and make another limb. So it would kind of like split. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Essentially, like an extra limb. Like for instance, Nightcrawler would have an extra limb because he has that tail.
The tail. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he has an extra appendage that he can do stuff. And you have an extra limb, and you would like to use that extra limb in the in this battle.
Yes, I would.
I would say just don't. It's not even worth it because let's see. Hold on, let me find extra a limb. And your extra limb is at what? What level is it at?
I think it's 5.
6.
Ooh, 6.
Extra
I knew
limb.
that I looked at that.
That's pretty dang good. Okay, so this is what you can do. You can do it. You can do a grapple, like you could hold one, and you would hold him very well because you would get bonus dice because of the extra limb. Or you can funnel all that into actual damage. So, however you want to play it.
Let's go for the damage.
You're going for the damage? Okay. Because in theory, you could actually have 5 extra limbs that, basically just spread out and grab stuff. Or you could just have it all funnel into one limb and just, make one concerted effort and punch.
Get that kinetic power.
Yes. So, are you punching with it? So basically, you would be doing a ton of damage. Well, not a ton. You wouldn't do as much as this guy just tried to do, but you'd do a decent amount. You would do 8 points plus 5 points, so you would do 13 points per punch, punching right now.
Nice.
All right. So I got my 6. Do I roll anything else with that?
Fighting, just roll your fighting plus your reflex.
Fighting plus reflexes. Okay, so my fighting is a 3. My reflex is a 3, so that's 6. And a wild die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yep.
Big money, big money, big money. I have 1 success and my wild die 4.
Okay. And don't forget you get 1 bonus success just because you've got a specialization. 2 successes. So the first zombie you take out, you do 14 points of damage. Pow! Hitting another one.
Hit him harder. Hit him harder, honey.
Oh! Don't forget you still got 4 bonus dice
don't
that you
forget
can
the 4
actually
dice
use.
I gave you.
Oh!
So
hit him harder,
the
honey.
second action, just use 2 bonus dice if you want. Because
Second action, 2 bonus die. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus these 2 bonus die. Okay, next action, swinging for the fences again.
Hit them harder, honey.
Hit them harder. All right.
Yep.
He's so supportive. I'm the luckiest.
Oh man, I think if this was a system you actually earned hero points for role playing, a few of us would have a few fun points from that.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got 2 successes and my wild die is a 6.
Okay, you could continue to roll it, but you knock one out, you kill another one. Boom, boom. You going for a third?
Going for a third. Let's
Okay,
get
so
that
now
straight.
you would be minus 4 dice.
Meaning that you're
No,
out of
actually-
bonus dice.
You would only have 2 dice for this roll.
Does that include the wild die? So 1
Yep.
regular,
Yes.
1.
Yeah, 1. Yep. And you only need really 1 success.
And I got it. I got a.
So-
I got a
Was it
5.
on the wild die?
You
Was
take,
it?
3.
Oh.
No, the wild die was a 3.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so you take out another one. So you take out 3. Pow, pow, pow. So you're just swinging like these. Your cybernetic appendages are like looping around, punching one over here, punching one up that way, just smashing one into the ground. What was I going to say? Okay, yes. And you pretty much exhausted all your dice. You've just punched everything out.
Yeah.
So let me see. So I've attacked you. You took out 3. You took out 2. So there's 1 zombie left, and it will attack you, Armitage.
Okay.
I'd like to at that point call out that I would like to take extra actions since I wasn't doing that earlier. Is that possible? And I would like to cite my disadvantage of I wish to protect her.
Well, you do, but this is because of the disadvantage that she's actually being hurt.
Okay. Can I?
So the disadvantage.
So what can I do to take the hit? I will actively take the hit.
Okay, so you actively want to. Okay, fair enough. Then you just say you took the hit, and
I take the hit for her.
Cool. So let me see. So that is 3.
Jumping away.
So 3 successes.
Okay.
So hold on. It did. Let me look up. So take 7 points of damage.
Okay, I will take 7 points of damage.
Okay, so yeah, you jump in the way, and before this thing can like jump on you, you see Cardinal swoops down and just gets clawed across the chest, flies by, taking the damage. And we go down to the lowly. Oh, actually, Armature Manat would have went before you. So what is Manat doing?
Oh, okay.
Don't forget 4 extra dice, Brandon, from me.
Yeah.
True.
So that's not a +4 die to every action, but over the course of your round, you get 4 extra dice to use, right?
Well, you get 4 extra dice for an action.
For an action, okay. So I will not use it on my first one.
Right. So what I would suggest is use it on the one that it would completely negate the penalty. So if you took a third action, which would be -4.
Yeah, you'll be back at the first action effectively.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and continue to just unload as best as I can into this bad guy. I'm ignoring the zombies.
Okay. Yeah. There's only one left because they've been run over, punched out.
And I took the 7 hit points already. There's 7 stress points.
It is good that you are finally here. I have been waiting so long.
Wings are tired. Wings are tired.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have to donate a 1 to your aggravation pool.
I love it. I'll take it. These are
5 successes. 5
so
successes, so that's 10 damage, I believe.
Yeah, you only needed 2 to hit him, so you get 3 over.
3 over, 4 over because of the auto, and if I give you the 1, does that mean that my coordination now modifies a different die? My +2.
Yeah, you would modify a die. Yeah,
so that would be 7 successes at that point because my wild die was my only 1. So that is up by 4, so that's 11 damage.
Okay, 11 damage. Hold on. Let me do some quick math here. 11 points. Okay. And what else you got? You see this guy's like just moving. And when he moves, kind of distorts. And even though he's like this old white-haired gentleman in a 3-piece, when he starts moving this like weird preternaturally quick, he kind of distorts. And you see he's got like extra legs, like actual like, spider legs as he's running around.
Now I know he needs to die.
Come on. So you guys are against the undead and strangeness.
I have not shot any of the undead other than the ones that were trying to eat a family. But spiders, they have to go.
Right, fair enough.
So I did roll a 1 on the wild die, but I gave it to you. Am I out of ammo or am I still going?
That is a good point. No, we're going to let you go.
Okay.
As long as you gave it to me, I'll let you go.
All right. I am going to continue shooting him and hope my wild die does not betray me similarly. All right. Wild die is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the auto success it brings it to 6 hits again. So that would be.
Did you take out 2 dice for this action?
Yes, I did. I only have two dice that failed me.
Okay.
So
how much damage on this one?
So that's 11 damage again.
Damage. Okay. So yeah, you're shooting at him. This guy's like moving. He's like, you guys are running around this mausoleum, and occasionally you'll hit that other zombie because he'll put him in the way of you. But this guy is just moving like crazy and moving about. Going again, third action.
I'm gonna go for the third action, and I'm going to take those.
A normal shot.
I'm going to take those 4 bonus dice that I was gifted. Thank you, Cardinal. It is so much easier to shoot things when your birds will peck at them. Alright, so I've got a 4, 6, 5, 6, 5, so that's 5 successes. My wild die is a 2, so I think I want to call Gun Fu, because I'm worried that's going to make me out of ammo if I let that 2 sit.
Sure.
Alright, so the wild die is now a 3, and that moves me to 8 successes, counting my auto success.
Nice.
Okay. So, how much damage?
So, 8, that is 6 over, that's 13 damage.
All right.
Teamwork is nice.
Yeah, so you guys are shooting. Did he go?
So,
okay, yeah, he did. He tried to blast you.
I am going to take one more action. I am at 3 dice normally, but I've got a lot of luck sitting here. So why don't I go ahead and burn 6 luck points?
Oh. Okay. So now you've got 3 dice. Or no, you would have your normal dice because you take off all the negative.
Yep.
You finish off the boss. I'm going to go Raz of Freaking Raj on the zombie in a minute.
That's right.
Alright, I donate my wild die to you again.
Nice. I'm up to 5 aggravation.
That is 4 successes, which is damage of 9.
Damage of 9.
And I will call it done. I am neg 8 if I try to dodge.
And initiatives in the system are static, right? So we go back up to top? Okay.
You guys just go right back up to the top. What are you doing there, Cardinal?
Well, this zombie just tried to hit my girlfriend. That's not standing.
Right.
So, I'm going to go Raza frickin' Raj on him, as in I am going to frickin' rage. My claws come out, literally. And, yeah, my claws are pretty good. My claws are armor piercing, in case they care. But, so, I've not used a weapon yet, so what am I supposed to roll? Just my fighting and my what?
Oh, yeah, it's just your fighting. If it's your claws, yeah, it's just fighting.
Great.
Because essentially it's your hands, you know, you're...
Do I roll anything else on top of the, on top of my fighting?
Reflexes plus fighting.
Great. That's awesome. That's 7 dice. 7 dice. And I've got a lot of points I can blow after this, so I might blow it. We'll see. We'll see if I kill those.
You didn't need it.
Ooh, nice. My wild die is a 6, so I'm going to be rolling another one.
Okay.
I do have a normal 1 elsewhere. And let's see, so I'm going to roll another die for the wild die. That honestly is another 6. Maybe I should start showing you guys, because that's kind of crazy. I don't know if that...
Oh, no. That's fine. No, I trust you.
Okay. And so that's another 6, so then we roll again. That's a 4, so that's still a success. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 successes.
Yeah.
And if I don't kill
the zombie is gone.
Okay, because if I didn't kill...
He is gone. You've eviscerated this thing, and you've shredded it to pieces.
When I defend people in games, I tend to roll well. That's Brandon.
Right. That's pretty good.
So Nick, is it hot that your boyfriend is literally feasting on the entrails of a zombie?
No, it's a claw. No, it's totally claws. No eating, just claws. I just went over it. I went Raza freaking Raj on him.
I'm slightly aroused, yes.
Okay,
I'm falling even more in love with this weird bird man.
That weird paranoid, psychotic. What about? Okay, you doing any other actions, Cardinal, or?
Yeah. At that point, I'm gonna go and direct myself on the boss and see what I can do there.
Okay.
So.
Take another action. So take off 2 dice.
Yep. So I'm down to 5 dice.
Okay.
I have 2 successes so far. I am going to start using some of my extra pool, though. Let me pull my up. I have 5 disad points that I haven't used, and 4 hero points I haven't used in total. So I'll use 2 hero points to start. Actually, hero points are defensive.
You only need 2 successes to hit him.
Yeah, but more successes mean I do more damage, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, just so you know, like that, you know that you didn't have to spend them.
Yeah, I'll just burn all my disad points, which got me
You're gonna put
one
'em
more
up?
success, sadly.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Don't do it like that then. What you want to do is, since you've got 2 successes, use all those hero points just to make damage. So how many hero points were you using?
I used 5 disad points.
So that would be 20
20
points of additional. Yeah, that would be 20 points of additional damage. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yep, cool.
And that way you would do more damage
Yep.
because you've hit them with the 2 successes, and then you just laid on that extra damage. It's kind of like a critical hit on them.
Yep.
So you did how much damage total? You would have done, where are you at?
My claws are SP5 BDV6 with armor piercing. I haven't been using weapons, so I haven't been paying attention to the weapon stuff. I'm sorry.
Right. No problem. So So you did. So that's 6 points plus the 2. So that's 8 points base. You would.
Okay.
And then an extra 20 points.
Yeah.
So 28 points of damage.
I'm tempted to blow my last 4 hero points and actually see if we can finish him off. Nah, because that's actually hit point soak, so I need some defense. I'm good.
Right. Well, he spent all the aggravation pool to negate that damage.
Oh, okay.
Plus, he spent 20 points, so he negated that 20 with the 5 points in the aggravation pool. And then, so basically, like, you come in at him, and he just stops and grabs your arms before you can, like, get in and claw him. And there was 28 points.
And then my feet kick up, and they claw him as well for a little bit of damage.
They claw, yeah. So like you're clawing at him, and you like shred like his shirt. But yeah, he just kind of tosses you to the side, and you kind of tumble over. Anything else you want to try? Any other actions, or you done with your actions?
I'll do one more attack. Actually,
okay.
No, I am going to use my animal control, my beast control this time. And I know I'm going to have to lose 4 dice total, but I am going to use them to coordinate a fight. Basically, we're all going to descend on him at once and just dogpile, and all of us are pecking and clawing. Well, I'm clawing, they're pecking at him at once.
Okay.
So, 2,
yeah, give me another fighty roll.
Right, so I'm going to subtract 4 dice this time. So I'm down to 4 with this power. I'm going to give you 1 for your aggravation pool.
I'll take it.
And I have 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so you would have done 9 points of damage.
You know what? This time I'll burn. Nah, I won't burn that because I won't.
Sure? You sure?
No, I'll burn all 4 of my hero points. Let's go balls to the wall here.
Okay, so that's 16 additional points, so 24 points of damage.
And I am out of hero points and out of disad points. I got angry when they tried to hurt my girlfriend.
Yes, and you did. You like clawed into him and you made him blood. What is Bravo doing?
Is the zombie still kicking or?
No, there's no zombies left right now. It's just the guy.
Take some damage for the team, like some of the.
So you could pick up like that flaming hot dog truck, I think.
Yeah, the truck is on fire. Yes.
Football. Throw a hot dog as a football.
Yeah, true.
Attack or do coordination and attack.
You guys are savages. I love it.
I know. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna hit him with the hot dog truck?
Hey. It's not like it's sacred like a taco truck, okay? If it was a taco truck, we might have to be a little nicer.
That is true. I would like the taco truck to survive. So is that going to be your action? You're throwing the hot dog truck at him? Okay, give me a range fighting plus your coordination, which is, let's see.
Hot dogs. Armor hot dogs.
That's
what
right.
kinds of spiders eat armor hot dogs?
That's right. Demon ones, evil ones. Let's see, coordination and your range fighting, so you would have 5 dice 1 to roll.
5 or 6?
How was that? Oh, can't hear you.
He is saying 5 or 6.
I think it's 5. No, 6.
He's 6. Okay. He says 6. I can hear him.
For the range fighting, it's 5 dice plus 1 because it's range fighting, which is 2 dice, plus coordination, which is 3 dice plus 1. So it's 5 dice plus 1.
Yay!
Rolling. Roll. 2, 3, 4.
4 successes. Okay. Spending any hero points to augment your damage. I'm going to stick with that. That's good. You're good with that one then? Let's see. That's 1. Okay. You smash him with the truck. Truck comes down on him. Tires blow off of it. The truck is wrecked. Kind of explodes, and it smells that weird sodium potassium-y smell of like cooking hot dog. They kind of like swell up and like crack open. The hot dogs do. There's buns and sauerkraut, mustard everywhere. And out of the wreckage, this guy kind of like, comes up out of this wreckage. His clothes are torn and shredded. His body's been shredded by like claws. He's been shot at. So yes, it is now his go. What is this guy gonna do?
He's got lines of mustard all over him.
Yes, mustard, sauerkraut, some relish.
He's just a hot mess.
Yeah, but
wait,
but
where are
no
the tater
ketchup
tots?
because
Where are the tater tots? If it's a hot mess, it has to have tater tots.
it's gotta have tater tots. Oh man, this guy's from Sonic. He's let's see, what's he gonna do?
Well, I mean, that's what a
Okay, I
hot
know
mess dish is. It has to have it has to have tater tots.
He's got 2 points left. Okay, he is going to. Actually, god dang it, you guys are like smashing him. You know what? He's giving you guys all.
Musa's taunting him, saying, "Are you going to attack him?"
Oh yeah, everyone's getting attacked.
Oh,
You guys are all getting it.
we're all getting.
Here we go.
Gonna catch these hands.
Yeah, here it comes. First, let's start off with a little Bravo.
Go, Bravo.
Give you a little. What is your? Okay, so you got a 2, and oh, you're lucky. Oh, okay. So he did. He got 2 successes out of 7 dice. That was a terrible roll. Okay, so 15 points, Bravo. He does to you. Now I'll take 2 out, and he'll go for armature because he knows he can get a 1 on.
I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, I should have been paying more attention.
Oh.
I'm going to use my protector again.
Okay, go for it.
To try and bring that down. Why is my Mythic D6? There it is. All right, so that's my second of 3. That's perception and willpower.
Okay, go for it.
3, 4. All right, wild die is a 6. I am sitting on 4 successes to start with. My perception is a +1. Does that kick in? On this?
Yeah.
Wild die is a 6 again.
Woohoo!
So that's 5, that's 6, and then the +1 moves it up to 7 successes.
Okay.
And then 8 with the automatic that it reduces.
I don't
by.
think you took any damage, Musa.
Yeah. Bravo did not take any damage. I'm going to have to roll crazy to hit armor.
I'm about to get hit.
Yeah, that is not crazy enough.
Can I for the damage?
Can you take the damage?
Like take some of the damage from
Well, for each one of you is under that protection. I can protect all 3 of you with my Aegis.
Yeah,
Whoa,
no one
nice.
takes any of this damage. So, like, basically,
You have to
he
roll
just
like a
goes
god
across
to
with
hit us then.
Yeah, he goes across with a jet of flame trying to hit everyone, and you see Manat comes out and starts like shooting and basically suppressing him so that he's trying not to get hit by her bullets.
And so he's just aiming badly at that point,
straight.
shooting up there, shooting down there instead. Cool.
So then Manat took an action. Are you going to take another action, or would you like to leave it at that action? And what are you doing, Armature?
I'm going to attack.
Okay, go for it.
That's all I'm looking at. I'm like, man, I don't really do anything else. I have investigative, but that's not going to help me right now. So let's start.
Let's start beating.
Right. Yeah, you've got stretchy arms and leg.
Yeah, the stretch punch specialization, the fighting. So that's 3.
Gonna give him a tiger uppercut, dragon punch.
That's right. Hadouken!
That's
Tiger!
right.
Tiger!
That's right.
Rolling 6 die. Okay. Yeah. And I got my wild one here, so we're full. Oh, nice. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes plus 1, 5 successes, and a 4.
So you got you only needed 2 successes to hit him. So you got 3 successes over. So you knock him out. He goes flying.
Whoa!
Was it the dragon punch, or was it was it the axe chop to the neck, like a Kirk axe chop to the neck, or was it
Tiger knee.
Oh, you gave him the knee. You gave him the Sagat kick.
Or it could be like in the book. In the book, she shoots her little limbs out and basically creates a mask and suffocates somebody.
True. Yeah, you just mush his face into the ground. Yep. But however you do it, he goes down.
We win.
And yes, you guys, you do take out the man. Congratulations, guys. You guys beat up an old man.
He wasn't an old man. No, he was a spawn of a Nazi. You said that he was a spider guy, so...
He was definitely a spidery, kind of a demonic...
Exactly, so either he was a spawn of Loth or he was a spawn of a Nazi. Either way, we were in good shape.
Alice, I know the first time you said Anansi, but all that came through was A, and then there was a slight hiccup, and so then Nazi. And I'm like, just because he's an old evil dude doesn't make him a Nazi.
True.
I'm like, I didn't know he was a Nazi.
In fact, he goes, whoa. I am many things, but I'm not a Nazi.
That's his last breath.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you guys take him out, and
grave, so I'm not a Nazi.
That's right. As like a denouement, basically Hobo shows up, a bunch of guys.
Oh, now they show up.
Well, they listen. They're not you guys. They just got sticks.
I know.
But their sticks, their Hobo sticks, basically have blades that come out of the top. And you see they all like kind of come out of like forest around like the cemetery, and they tell you they'll take it from here unless you guys are going to do something with Mausoleum.
Nope, we're not gonna. My crows are gonna stand around though, because come on, think about it. We're in a graveyard at night. What better than to make it more creepy looking than a murder of crows sitting all over the stuff?
Right. Well, they turn into undead and shoot out of the actual mausoleum. But they load up this thing called the Ghost Forge, and basically the hobos put it on a train. Since they have a network of train connections all over the country, and take it back to their secret hobo base. I don't even know where the hobo base would be. It's probably someplace out in the woods near a train track. And that's how it ends. Is basically you guys stop this guy from reviving the undead here, and getting away. So that is Mythic D6.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
No, thank you guys, man. That's pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, so let's do a quick reaction to the system and experience. Brandon, why don't you start?
Oh, I always like to be the end cap, but okay. I can go if you want me to. I don't know if it's a fair, experience with the Mythic D6 because I think that Jerry, that you could probably make reading a phone book into a fun and interactive game right there.
Oh, that's very kind. That's very kind. But
you
I'm gonna get a system and not me because I bumble through a lot of stuff.
We all do. We played under somebody who runs Bash last night, and he plays it regularly, but it's been a while for him, and so it's the first time he ran online, and I think he realized that it's a lot harder for some reason online. That things just don't go as easy, and also just trying to remember the system.
It is like, well, because there's that disconnect. There's a definite disconnect online that makes things harder because sitting around a table. I don't know if it's because of maybe it's our nature as like social animals, like you pick up on cues when you're sitting at a table that online you just, it's like I'm talking, well, we kind of are just kind of talking on the phone, with pictures. Right. It does make it harder.
I think that platforms like Discord or Jitsi work better than Hangout because for Discord or Jitsi you get large faces for everyone rather than Hangout where only the active speaker do you really see. And so I feel like you can still feel like you're at the table as long as people are actually engaging and watching the monitor to see everybody at the table, which is what I was always actively do. And I act like it's a table sometimes. I just walk away and grab stuff and I'm interacting. But
right.
So I think
that it is. As for the system, I thought it was a great time. I would definitely look at running this again. It takes a lot of the things that are in Champions or Mutants and Masterminds, things like that, presents them in a different way. It's really enjoyable, and just looking at the character sheets, having read a bit of the book, but skimmed around to try and more get the system rather than the minutia of it. It seems like something that would be a lot of fun. I think that the disadvantage system where you kind of activate and can pick up extra hero points is cool. The final fight was epic. I was really worried about my character being out there by herself, but I was trying to work with never sit still. So I'm not going to wait for you guys. And then curiosity or what? What are you going to do? Like, give me your evil plan. I wanted him to monologue a little while.
Right.
So I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, thanks. And I like the hot dog truck.
The MVP.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I did enjoy the hot dog truck and the driving the hot dog truck in. That was a good. No, yeah. About the system, I was trying to. What I'm always trying to do is make stuff a little bit simpler for me and to make it easier for me. And that's what it is. It's not as what's the word? It's not as involved, I guess, as like the hero system in some respects, because the hero system will let you like drill down deep into a power. Mm-hmm. And when we would play a hero system, like I would build my character, but it always would not be an optimal build, just because I'd be like, all right, this is what my character does. And then, the guy sitting next to me would always be like, if you did this and this, you would save this. And they'd be like, oh, okay. So, and that's what I tried to do is the game is built on broad strokes because Mythic D6, it's my attempt at an action adventure game. So if you tried to actually play this using a horror, a horror genre, it wouldn't work. Or it works if you're playing Doc Savage, some type of superhero game. Buckaroo Banzai would work with it. But if you were trying to play what's that?
Adam Strange.
You could do you could absolutely. Just anything that's high adventure is what it does well. If you were trying to do like Downton Abbey, not work. A horror game, it would probably not. There's, but like stuff that's action adventure, it's pretty well. As long as the characters are heroic. If you were doing a cyberpunk game, it probably wouldn't as well, just because.
I think you can have some pretty heroic cyberpunk games, though. I think.
Well, it would be. It would feel like super heroic. It wouldn't feel like someone could come up and just stab you in the face and you'd die.
whenever I've run Shadowrun, for example, I've always run with people having some level of having heroic motivations in some degree, and so it's not the it's not the neutral evil groups that I deal with here.
Right.
About.
Well, no, yeah, the morality part, yeah, that's the easy. Just like in some games, there's the threat of
suspense.
There's
suspense.
Well, there's just a threat level there that, let's say, for instance, you're playing a superhero game. If you fall out of a building in a superhero game, you're probably going to live. You'll find like the flagpole, or you'll fall into trash, or something will happen to mitigate you dying. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Cyberpunk, you fall out of a building on the first floor, and you might just land on a broken piece of glass. And you know what I mean? Like there's just
the grittiness
that level
of it.
Yeah, exactly. And Mythic D6 does not do that well. However, if the game is just high octane action, like we played a Matrix game using Mythic D6, and basically your technical skill would come in handy, because what we did in that game is that your hero points were basically you hacking the Matrix. Mm-hmm. So in order to like dodge bullets, you would just spend hero points, and that was you hacking the Matrix. And you want to jump to the next building, spend some hero point. So it works well with stuff like that.
Cool.
So yes, it's built for super heroic action adventure. I
think that it does it well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Musa. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah. No, I was just saying, next time, if you guys have me back, we can play something else. I've got other garbage games that I've written that
yeah, we want to talk to you about that after we go off air, by all means.
Right. About the other garbage games that I have.
Yeah, and also you just coming back, period. But we'll talk about that. Musa, right. What was your first reaction?
Oh, absolutely.
First experience to D&D, first experience to tabletop RPGs ever.
That's a wild dive.
There we go. You're cutting in and out. I don't know if you can fix that.
Right, but it was working well for a little while towards the end again.
We'll translate for the audience what he says. While he's typing his reaction, then Nick, what's your reaction to tonight?
I thought it was really cool. It was a fun adventure. It was paced well. The dynamics of the system was easy to learn, which is great for me because I'm still new to the world of RPGs. No, it was very enjoyable and easy to learn. So it'd be very, very easy for someone who's not all that familiar to jump in this and have a good time with maybe a little quick cue.
Cool.
Right. Awesome.
And Musa is saying that his reaction is that it was fun to play. And cool. And as for me, I think that there's a lot going for the system. It definitely is a quick action system. I liked the ability to... you said you had some familiarity with the way that I play before you started GMing for me tonight. And as you see, I like to play with the versatility of a system. I like to play with the versatility of a character. And I was able to try and do some of those things and show some of those actions, and was asking you about those. And I thought that there was a good amount of that to it. So, awesome. And Musa adds that it was good times because we got to engage with each other, which agreed. I like to be able to, I was like, how do I do a coordinated attack type thing? And I thought that bonus was pretty freaking epic for all of you.
Yeah, it was.
That was yeah.
You had 9 successes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
on the back end, he had 25 hero points that he could spend, plus he had 50 stress points of damage that he could take. And he had 5 aggravation points that he could spend, and you guys managed to just, wail on him for, I think it was only 3 rounds, because it was 2 rounds of Manat shooting at him, and then you guys came in for another 2 rounds, and you guys basically dispatched him.
Yep.
Which was
fantastic. Manat's like, oh, you guys showed up, but I loosened the jar for you guys. So.
Yeah, exactly. Can you open these pickles?
And then you're just like, how was that so hard? Like, well, I loosened it.
Yeah, exactly.
As the corpse falls over, the jar of pickles is laying on him. By the way, can you open that? I loosened it for you.
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully, like I was able to illustrate. Even though he was just spending hero points to negate damage, I was trying to, make it seem like, or at least narrate it so it's just not like, yeah, he spent hero points. He spent hero points.
Yep.
Which, a friend of mine, Brian, suggested when we were playing it online once. He was like, yeah, just don't just say he spends hero points. Just kind of dress it up so it's not just,
Oh, I loved when you had me, blowing through and it hit his coat instead of him and such, and I could just, picture the bullet holes going in there and such.
Yeah. No, the characters are fun. You guys did great with like the characters. It's like, and hopefully they were fun to play because.
Yes, I worried that I might have scared some people.
Nah.
Well, when I commit completely.
No, that's what I appreciate. Trust me. That's what hit me to your guys' show because I was like, man, she is incredibly enthusiastic. She's a maniac. It's like
well, thank you.
All over the place. So, but yeah, no, it was fun, guys. I really appreciate it.
And thank you all for watching Babies with Knives. You guys have a great night. Bye.
Adios, everybody.